Hello, hello, and welcome one and all to Talent League this evening. We have an amazing matchup for you today in our lower bracket round one for the Titan series. It's going to be Oracle Esports versus Team Unknown. My name is Soul, and here with me is Wumby. Wumby, how are we feeling about who will come on out on top in this matchup?
A very tricky one to predict, at least for me, because I haven't kept my eye as close to the Titan League series as I probably should have. But I have casted Team Unknown once, and I do know a little bit about how they play, but not so much so that I'm willing to give like an expert analysis. For Oracle Esports, I have no clue who or what they are, so this is a good chance for an introduction today.
Yeah, so just in terms of teams, for you at least, it's an introduction for Oracle, and Unknown might be your favorite for today, huh?
Mm, We shall see. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards unknown. I mean, the last time I watched them, last time I casted them, they didn't really have a good game, and they made a lot of really weird mistakes uh, that I vocally talked about in that game. Uh, and I hope that they've had a week to like fix those mistakes. So I hope they've kind of made up for it in this game, or they will make up for it. We will never know because we're not in the lobby right now, and the game hasn't started. I don't really know who I can predict for this matchup because, like I said, I don't really know any of these teams that well. They're not in major league, they're not in minor league, and then we haven't had a chance to cast them throughout this talent league season at all.
Right, so it might be just like the first time for a lot of viewers just to see both of these teams. It's the first time I'm seeing both of these teams. But I think the community votes behind you on this one. Definitely. Unknown has 50% of the vote here with Oracle. A little bit behind by 43, but not too much. So, I mean, the community thinks as well. It's just going to be possibly a 50-50 with Unknown just edging it out by the very slightest. Let's just talk about the maps we're going to go to in terms of what team chose which map. The
Mm,
first map we're going to go to is Clubhouse by Unknown. And looking at the stats here, both of these teams, the last matches they played versus different opponents, might I add, they both had Clubhouse in their decider. But they did not get that far. We did not make it to the third map. So both of these teams have yet to play Clubhouse, and we've yet to see both of these teams on Clubhouse. Are we gonna expect anything out of the ordinary?
I don't think so. If they haven't shown it, like usually when teams don't show a map, they tend to do something outrageous that we've never seen before, or they tend to do some on meta things. Maybe they weren't comfortable with playing it against some of the teams that have shown themselves within Talent League, because a lot of the teams in Talent League, because I think Clubhouse is one of our most played maps.
Yeah.
Inside of Talent League, a lot of the teams, whether that be in major or minor league, um, whenever they have played on Clubhouse, they have all of them have looked very strong. And again, we don't know Team Unknown, we don't know Oracle Esports because they haven't played in Salvador Talent League. So maybe they just never wanted to take any of the major league teams in there. It's a 50-50. I feel like we'll probably see something different, or we'll probably see like some meta things that has happened within the comp scene. But, I mean, we do got 2 other maps that they have also played, Coastline and Oregon. Oregon is our decider, Coastline is gonna be our second map after Clubhouse, and both of these teams, inside of the Titan League series, at least from what I've understood, is that they both actually lost against some of the major league teams that I'm talking about, QVG and LFO. LFO formerly Team Wanted. I can't remember the actual scores, but I know they did lose. For Oracle, they lost 8-7 against QVG, and then for Team Unknown, they actually lost 7-0 against Team Wanted or LFO.
Yeah, so the coastline is leaning a lot more towards Oracle just in on paper. A 7-0 never looks too good on the stat sheet. And when Oracle plays QVG that close, 7-5, it just piques my interest enough to think that Oracle might win out this map just in terms of the coastline at least.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's one thing like losing 8-7 against QVG is a lot different than losing 7-0 against LFO. QVG are known as if people watch Talent League, then you would know QVG as a good coastline team. So to take them to one of their most favorite maps, and to like almost be able to take them all the way to almost be able to run off of them is that piques my interest as well. And I mean, Coastline is their map pick as well, so that's going to be very interesting to watch. But I am going to keep my eye on Unknown because, like I said last week when I watched them play, they made a lot of weird mistakes, a lot of simple mistakes. Um, and I wasn't too impressed by them last week. So hopefully, again, like I said, they fixed those mistakes. They've talked over them as a team, and they'll show us what they're made of today.
Yeah, honestly, they hopefully they did clean things up because I think they have a formidable opponent today in Oracle. We will see. I mean, I'm excited to see both of these teams play for sure. Let's just talk about more of this clubhouse map and what we expect in terms of the bans. I mean, I think we all know the first attacker ban, so let's just speak about others that we think might be out of play for this first clubhouse.
And nobody cares about that shit. So I
Yeah,
guess
exactly.
I guess a band that I'm thinking of, I'm gonna say it's either gonna be a Maverick or a Bug band. Maverick for obvious reasons. He is very, very powerful in Clubhouse, not only for the hatches, but also because of his ability to what a lot of people call is Maverick tricking. You make a line at the top, you make a line at the bottom, you leave one and then it makes the whole panel of the wall that you did soft. And then if you have a Buck on your team or Sophia or Ash, they can use their util, they can use their special ability. They have breaching rounds, and then for Buck, he has a skeleton key and a shotgun. They can just open it up, and there goes the wall. You don't even need a hard breacher for it. So I feel like if Maverick is not going to be banned, then obviously it could be Buck or even maybe a Sledge, just because soft reach is very, very important. And for Sledge, he does have those nades, and nades, especially in this meta, if you've watched the 6 invitationals, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. The amount of nade kills, and it's not because nades aren't overpowered by the slightest. They've been in this game for years. They've never changed at all. It's the Z pings. That's quite literally what it is. And if the teams can coordinate well around each other, which I'm pretty sure both of these teams can do, then those nades are going to be so deadly on Clubhouse.
Most definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. On both of those bands on attack, honestly, I soft breach is super pivotal for both maps, or sorry, or all three or four sites realistically. And Mavs just, you know, ease of use in terms of getting the walls open and things like that. In terms of the defender side, I feel as if Valk will be off the board. She's been off the board for a very long time, in terms of the meta and who you want to take away. Just her intel is so powerful, throwing those cameras anywhere on the map and outside of the map right now. Obviously, she will be reworked at some point, so maybe her ban rate will go down a little bit. I'm praying because I am a Valk main myself, so it's tough when you can't play your favorite op inside of any match competitively. But that's just personal. Who cares? And another defender I'm thinking about that I'm not too sure. I mean, watching the six invitationals, Castle looks really strong on most maps, just in terms of how you want to maneuver the map and make it more safe for the defenders to like hold positions and such. But I think it might be Amira, um, just in terms of Clubhouse. She's really strong on Clubhouse for Church and Arsenal, and definitely top floor um, master. You could use her in CCTV, but not as much as I haven't really seen many teams use her there. So that I think I'm just expecting Mira Valk possibly. Um, Maybe a cave thrown in there as well. But I mean, if Maverick isn't banned, there really is no need. So
Yeah, usually, that's the thing. I feel like if Maverick is banned, then if we do see Maverick banned, then there is like a 90% chance that Kaid will be banned as well.
Right.
Just for the mere fact he makes hard breaching like such a living hell for any of the hard breachers. And like you can put the claws anywhere, and sometimes the attackers could see it, but they won't be able to do anything about it just because they're in a spot in which they cannot shoot. I think an operator that I'm also thinking about that that on defense at least is probably Owamai or Jaeger. Just for the fact, I'm thinking about like server cash, but recently when I've been like casting Talent League and I've seen people go to Clubhouse, they don't really like to play cash CCTV for some odd reason.
Mhm.
But in the off chance that they do that one of these teams do pick it, um Jaeger and Wamai mainly for the fact that Raptors control is a thing in Garage, and it's
Definitely.
one of the more pivotal pushes for attackers. If you
Yeah.
gain control of Garage, if you gain control of Raptors, then you also have that big wall open in servers. It creates an easy plant, and all you have to do is watch out for the Nitro Cell from below. And in any case, you shouldn't have to worry about the Nitro Cell from below if you have Garage control because somebody should be watching underneath for the Nitro Cell. Because I mean, you're all in comp, you all should expect it by now. It's if that is a common plant spot on that site and somebody nitros you with you guys having like full control of garage, I don't know what to say. It's just it's awful. But I don't know. Also maybe a maestro ban. I don't know. I haven't seen people ban maestro. But
That's kinda spicy.
we are gonna head straight into map number one clubhouse. And again, like those bands, like we just said, we all know what the first band is gonna be. It's gonna be Thatcher, nobody cares. But the second band, like I said, I think it's gonna be between a Buck or Maverick for me.
I'm crossing my fingers that this first ban is not what we think it is, but I'm not gonna get my hopes too high, but I am interested to see if that soft breach is gonna come through, in terms of the second banned attacker. We'll have to wait and see though. And here we go, Maverick to start. Let's go. Let's get some ones in the chat for not seeing Thatcher, even though he's probably going to be showing up here shortly. I don't know, dude. I might be really hyped right now.
Ooh, let's see. We got 1 second till we.
Oh
Oh,
my God! They let
actually, you
Thatcher
know
through.
what? You know what?
Wow.
I'm not that surprised because I think again last week when I've watched Clubhouse, I've seen teams let through the Thatcher on the board, and even then when Thatcher is on the board, he's not picked as much because we're so used to not
Right.
having Thatcher that we can use other operators in his place. In that case, the Maverick and the Habana are going to be banned. The Maverick is one of those operators that if the Thatcher is banned, he's very, very powerful. One of the players has just left the game. I don't know what to
Oh no! Come on, we got the spicy ban. They couldn't take it. They're like, "Oh, Thatcher's in play. I can't." But I definitely agree with you. In the terms of that, teams are just so used to not having Thatcher that when he is in play, it's almost like, "What do we do with him?"
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
I think
But in
it's
terms,
I'm sorry.
no, go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say, like, I think it's because of the fact that his EMPs don't necessarily destroy gadgets anymore. They
Right.
just disable. And what I mean by disable, I mean that it only happens for a short time. So they're not destroyed entirely. They just won't be able to like do anything for like say like 3 seconds or something like that, 3 or 8 seconds.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But
But that's enough on the attackers. Let's talk about what we saw on the defender side. Val, as I touched on, basically meta as of right now in terms of intel gathering. The less intel the defenders have, the better the attackers are in winning the rounds out. But the second ban, Echo, limiting the defenders on more intel and plant denial. So you touched on it. I mean, it's not a maestro, but it's close.
it's I haven't seen an Echo ban in like years. I actually
Yeah.
it's been a while because like again, it's the same thing with Echo that's happening with Thatcher. If Thatcher, when Thatcher is on the board, nobody knows how to play him, and it's the same with Echo. Echo's been banned for so many seasons straight that even when they change his ability, nobody plays him anymore. And even when he's not banned, teams don't bring him just for the reason that they're so used to playing without me. And it's such an odd ban for me. I want to know the thinking behind that ban. I actually, you know what, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember the order of who banned what, so I'm not sure who banned that, but I'm
I
just
think in terms of just like how you can hide the yokais now, I mean, I've seen a couple watching the Six Invitational at least. I mean, I know that's like tier one
Attackers
play,
need to
but
locate and
you can put
defuse
them
the
in really
bomb
nice
diffuser.
spots in terms of this site right here. And CCTV cache that we're going to right now, you can hide the yokai drones on top of the little TV racks on east corner of the site, near the window. So you can hide it right on these little racks right there. You see them, and the attackers have no idea that they're obviously. In hindsight, they might because those are like the default spots to put the echo
10 seconds
drones,
left.
but in terms of destroying them, you can't really destroy them in
5
those
seconds left before
little
insertion.
crannies until the yokai's actually somewhere in
Attackers'
sight.
objective is to locate a
You could
bomb and
probably
defuse
use
it.
like a Gone 6 or a nade in those little spots to destroy them, possibly a Twitch or what have you, but I mean, pretty strong. So I think in terms of banning the Echo, it's not terrible. It might be just a comfort pick, like you said, in terms of just, what do we do with Echo if he's in play kind of deal. But that's enough for me. Let's get into this round. And, attackers are already trying to drone out this wall to get it open. Thatcher's throwing his EMP, and they're just going to get this wall open real nice and easy with Thermite.
so if you would notice the fact that they brought an ace as well. They're not gonna bring an ace just to
Secured
pair up
by
with the
attackers.
thermite on this big wall because the thermite can do it by himself. He's a big boy. And the main reason why they brought the ace is because of the garage breach. They opened a little bit of that garage wall just to have an avenue into that area, but also the fact that, like I said, with those nades are not only used for just nading below under soft floors and stuff. You can just go in there, have a player with the nade just be crouch walking under him, and then if you have enough drones, drone that player out in order to get the kill onto the Raptors player playing with it. But they got ADSs, they got a Thunderbird, but they also have a Jaeger playing on lower garage, and that's the first play to actually get a pick onto the Spire, and that's your Thatcher gone. So the Thatcher's not going to have as much effect as we would have hoped. He didn't really get any of the util that you can get with the EMPs. It's not like he can destroy it. Not that, like I said, he can just disable it for like a little bit. But a minute and 20 seconds up to go. Oracle are in a tough situation here. But again, they have this breach below. They are going to burn these ADSs, and they are going to have somebody get a kill onto Bombarchi and that Raptors control. Thumbs is going to get a pick as well, but getting a trade back, putting his team in a man advantage like he did the very first time. And he's actually on 2 kills this round, possibly looking for another.
Yeah, life advantage into the defender's favor. However, the attackers do have really nice control right now. The Sophia of Blakey just watching over that cross on the default wall that they first initially got. See, they're watching the cross, and they have the Raptors control here. Bomb is towards Raptors. I think they're just trying to gather that intel about how they can get this plant off. But the Jaeger of Thumbs gets another pick from below, and the smoke canisters are going off, preventing the plant from happening. 27 seconds left. Blakey trying to find some sort of room, some sort of wiggle to try and get into the site. Try and find a pick. Thermite's running through. Ducky, he doesn't spot the one in the corner. He gets one, but not the other. 4v1, one is down. Oh, but
No.
Team Unknown gets the first round. Great hold, great stuff from them.
Yeah, I was gonna say Oracle. They did have the first pick against them on a Thatcher. I, we're so conditioned, like I said before, with not having the Thatcher on attack. So sometimes the Thatcher not being picked off that early wasn't really the most important part to me. They got a kill on the player in Rafters and Garage after that, making that an even man count. But then a player got killed elsewhere by the Jaeger of Thumbs, and I think he got killed outside of server wall. I'm not too sure where that happened, but Thumbs being on 3 kills and that round as well, just going absolutely clear, clutching it out for his team, and also RH as well grabbing
Defenders,
2 of
protect
his
your
own.
bombs
2
from being
easy
defused
picks,
by attackers.
mainly for the fact that Oracle Esports, that was a 4v2 situation that they couldn't really fight themselves out of. Again, they had an even man count. They had control of Raptors. They killed the only player playing in there, but they didn't really have a player on server wall neither. They just were all stacked up in garage, and you can't really, I don't know how to say this, but like sometimes stacking up can work and then sometimes it can't. And in that situation it just didn't. Mainly for the fact that Unknown do have, I don't want to say better gunners, but they do have good gunners on their team. And
10
if they
seconds
know
left
where
before
you're all
insertion.
pushing from, they could easily just win those gunfights out against you.
5
But
seconds
we're
to
gonna go to
insertion.
basement this time, and I mean we do see the Oryx being picked. There's plenty of
Attackers
hatches to
must
be played,
locate
but
and
not
defuse the
one of them
bomb.
is going to be popped. Uh, they're all reinforced, so I want to see what this Oryx
Uh,
can do in this
it looks
situation.
like the Geostrat from TSM in the Invitational. If none of you have watched it, I would go back and watch Geo play Castle on this map, roaming Clubhouse,
Yeah, I
near
remember.
this strip club, because it's
What?
pretty nasty, but the round's already in, and just like that, Fallen is gone. 4v5. Oracle gets a really nice, quick initial pick to start out the round, which will help them out in terms of their last round. They really stalled out just a little bit too much on trying to get that Raptors control, but here we are, 30 seconds in the round, and they already have a man down, which will make it a lot easier for them to gain more map control, as I believe that most defenders are just going to fall off, except for probably Oryx, that you see him over there. Oh, RH is there to help as well, but Oryx is still in this strip club hanging around, and RH in the bathroom. I think Divine does know the location of one, but he's going to drone out some
No.
intel, but he misses. He doesn't know. So he's going to drone this out. He's going to stop droning, run down the
Attackers have
stairs,
located a bomb.
and he might be dead, along with Thatcher.
That would, if they both die
A
to
bomb
this
has
one
been
player in the
located.
bathroom, then you could easily, it would be fair to say that it's the player's fault, who is just, you see,
Oh,
if he dies to
oh,
this, it's
here it
going to
is.
be
Here it
his
is.
own fault. But he is just gonna rush down main stairs, so he's gonna
Oh,
bypass the player
God.
playing in the bathroom. So it looks like this holding bathroom isn't to his detriment. He's gonna miss some shots from the player
Oh!
that's not even looking at him. Ducky with that kill into R8. Black, what the heck is his name? Blackie with the kill, and then a double in that round to clutch it out for his team. That
Oh
was
my
nearly, I
God.
want to say that was nearly a flawless, or it was a flawless.
It
I
was a
can't,
flawless.
it was a flawless. There we go. But I was gonna say, like, that all started off with the early pick onto Fallen, and you said it, like they took their time getting control of Raptors in the very first part, on the very first round on a cache CCTV. But that kill was made easy to them because Fallen was just like right in front of the
Yeah,
wall, and he was looking at the player, but he didn't shoot. And then when he got shot at, he didn't shoot back, or
right.
or he didn't even run away. He just kind of gave himself up. And then for the player also after that, you had a player. You saw that the ace was droning. He misdroned
Attackers
the
need to
player in the
locate and
bathroom. He
defuse as
runs
many
all the
bombs
way
as they can.
downstairs, and then he follows that up with the kill for himself. And it's not necessarily RH's fault that that happened, but I felt like maybe if he was more proactive in that round, maybe to the player that was playing on main stairs as he was rushing down, that could have helped his team out a lot, and then you wouldn't have your player on site dying. The main role of a roamer, the main role of a player that's playing off of site or around the site is to pick off, to help support your
10
team
seconds
that's on
left.
site, to help thwart the pushes, to help waste time of the attackers.
5
Oracle
seconds
didn't
left.
have their time wasted. They had easy picks going their way, and that was made
Attackers
easy
are moving
because
out to
Team
locate a
Unknown
bomb and
were
defuse
just
it.
like, I want to say, they were swinging stupid angles. They were missing really weird shots,
Yeah,
and the main key gunfight in that round was RH swinging.
huge.
Yeah, swinging onto Kitchen and then missing a player that wasn't even at him.
Looking at him, it
Just
hurt because that was definitely a missed opportunity by RH. If that was a different, if it was a different scenario, an opportunity where RH does get the kills, that's another team unknown round. But instead, it's
yeah.
a 1-1 going into this one. and Unknown are deciding to go to the master bedroom side of the map, but they are having this extended roam towards cache. That's pretty typical. You see
Attackers
most
have located
teams
a bomb.
hold that side of the map for most of the top floor takes, especially for the gym master. But they already have the jacuzzi wall open. They're looking to just push this bomb site in. Ace already gets a kill. They're already in sight. He
No
gets
way.
another one. He's in bathroom, going through the rotate. They're stacking the point. They're stacking the site. They're just gonna plant. Look at that, free plant, easy. And it's gonna go down, and it's a 2v5. Oh, but the nitro goes off, but too late. The plant is already down. Unfortunate. Thumbs gets a pick. 2v3. Mozzie's gonna rotate up the red stairs, looking for any angle so far, but doesn't spot Aspire on the Thatcher. 1v3. Oh my god, he's not even looking. 1v2. Can Thumbs clutch it out? 25 seconds left. He has to get these kills now. Nitro goes out. Does he get it? No, he does not. Looking through construction, he's not going to find anybody except for one towards Lodge. But I think this round is done and dusted.
Position compromised.
And there you go, Blackie with the kill. I can't. His name kind of confuses me. Blackie with the kill onto
Yeah,
Blakey. Oh my lord.
Blakey, yeah.
Blakey with the kill onto yeah, the last player in that round, Thumbs, on Amazi. It's just, I mean, not sorry, not on Amazi, but on the Thunderbird. That was a very confusing round to watch, mainly for from Team Unknown's perspective. But I'm just gonna say Oracle smelt a weakness and they fully exploited it. The weakness of having such an extended hold on that
Yeah.
site is that you leave your site presence very weak. I would say that you need at least 3 players in and around the site. They only
Yeah.
had 2. Once they
Yeah.
got the jacuzzi wall open, once they droned out the site fully, they were able to
Attackers
get the
need to locate
Divine
and
was just
defuse
able to
bombs.
jump in through bathroom, kill one player
Yeah.
that wasn't really paying attention all that much. His reaction timing was like non-existent. And then he also followed that up with another kill on a player who again just couldn't react on time to the pressure that Oracle were giving them. Then you saw, I mean, their extended hold wasn't really that much of a hold anymore because after those 2 picks, another player died on that cash CCTV side,
Yeah.
and then it just all started to fall apart, and then it culminated in that 1v3 situation for Thumbs. And he couldn't really do anything because, I mean, he got the first pick, made that a 1v2. But after that, he couldn't really find the remaining players because they played that post plant so well.
Attackers
I
objective
don't
is to
see,
locate a
like,
bomb and defuse it.
that's just, again, like I said, Oracle just fighting the weakness on Team Unknown on that site, and that was mainly the amount of presence that they had on site, which again was non-existent. You can't have 2 players just on that site alone and then have your 3 other players or your 4 other players playing elsewhere. Yeah, 3 other players playing elsewhere. It just doesn't work like that. That's not how you necessarily play that site. You do want a player playing in that logistics area or in that office area right next to master bedroom, not really have all 3 of them playing in that cache CCTV room. And that was so confusing for me to watch.
It was just good on Oracle to like have the intel to know just to breach the jacuzzi wall and go through that and then just plant gym because they have the extended realm and there's only 2 people on site. So whoever was making those calls, hats off to you. I don't know who the IGL is for Oracle, but great calls on that last round as we're into the next round already. And Aspire got a pick, but unfortunately he's running in place. That's not good. 4v4. Thunderbird gets a pick off of screen. Blakey is a little low HP. In the middle of the site. Smoke canister out. I'm not sure that they know of his location right here. 2 of them are in the middle of site. Bomb is outside of the breach, however. 1 is down. It's just pick after pick, kill after kill. 3v2 for Team Unknown. A minute left though, but Ducky just decides to run through like an ape, and Jaeger just meets him with his gun. Hello, 2v1. Divine gets another one. Minute left. Bomb is down. This looks like a Team Unknown round, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-2 after this one, as Jaeger does have control of the bomb.
Yeah, this is a bit unfortunate for Oracle because if you guys don't see it on your screen on the UI, Aspire has disconnected. So I mean, he disconnected elsewhere. I don't. He was like running in place on the other side of the map, and then boom, he was disconnected. So this is probably gonna be Team Unknown's round unless they isolate their 1v1s, and unless Divine wins them. Divine is a good gunner. He can win gunfights as he is 6.2. And I've seen him. Well, in this matchup, like I said, I haven't seen Team Oracle play, but from this matchup alone, I can tell that he can hit his shot when presented, when he's put in a gunfight against somebody else. He is gonna have control of the bomb
Attackers
again,
recover
but
the
he does have a
diffuser.
player playing just below in that little I want to say lobby area, and then he has thumbs in the middle of the
15 seconds
CCTV feed
left.
room. They have these holes in support, but Thumbs swings him, and Divine is looking the wrong way, and there goes the round for Team Unknown. But again, that was an unfortunate round for Oracle Esports, mainly for the fact that Aspire did just disconnect in the middle of the game. So we will have to pause and we will have to wait for him to rejoin the game, but it's just an unfortunate time to be having internet troubles. But I mean, Oracle Esports have looked pretty okay so far on their attacking rounds. Team Unknown also looking pretty okay, but I mean, this is a defender-sided map. Clubhouse is known
Right.
statistically as a defender-sided map. So Team Unknown will be looking to put more rounds on the board just to give them that heads up when they do end up switching onto their attack, so they can have a little bit more cushion when they do make the big
Definitely.
switch.
And I think that Oracle may have had that round if Aspire didn't lag out. That it looked like more of their, momentum swing in that round in particular. However, unfortunate events do happen from time to time in Siege, and that's all right. It's a tied up game. Unknown are going to go back to Church and Arsenal, or is this their first time Church and Arsenal?
No, I
No,
think
they went there once, yeah.
yeah, they went there once, and that was when Oracle had that flawless round. But we
Right,
do see the
right,
six
right.
pick from the Thatcher onto the Nomad, and I think that is a good choice because
Defenders,
at
protect your
least when
bombs
they
from
have
being
won those
defused
rounds,
by
I would
attackers.
say that the Thatcher hasn't been. Well, I mean, I feel like he's not really that effective on the basement side of things unless
Right,
you
right.
want to get the big wall, the walls on inside of dirt. But from what we're seeing, Team Unknown hasn't ran a lot of like counters to hard breachers like No Kaid.
Yeah.
And Mute, I wouldn't really consider him a counter to hard breachers anymore just because of the nerf that he did get.
Right.
They're not even running a bandit for God's sake. So I mean, it makes the hard breaching so easy for the attackers here,
10
especially for the
seconds
fact
left
that they
before
are running
insertion.
double hard breacher. They're running a Thatcher. They're running a Ace. Those are
5
the
seconds
main
left.
hard breachers that we see Ducky and Divine play. And Divine, I mean not
Attackers'
Divine, but
objective is to
Unknown.
locate a
Just
bomb and
again,
defuse it.
they're not bringing any counters, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I've seen teams play Clubhouse without running any counters if they are going to CCTV cache. Though usually they bring a Kaid, or even if it's like the
Right.
second, if it's any of the second floor sites, they usually Kaid for the jacuzzi wall. They bring it for the servers wall just because they want to be able to trick it, and they don't want the attackers to have that wall open because both of those walls are very important to the attacker's eventual success on the site,
Yeah, I
on both
think
sides.
it comes into strategy as well. I really think that for this basement site, there are two other levels that you can really roam and use to your
Oh
advantage to
no.
waste time for the attackers. And here we go again with Fallen trying to roam and get an initial pick. This time doesn't die straight off the rip in CCTV. Good, good. 2 minutes, and it doesn't look like Team Oracle really has any sort of presence except for this top floor, Divine, um, in the gym area. But, big roam, so hats off to Oracle doing that six pick on a Nomad. I think that those air jabs will really help the roamers of RH and orcs of Archie. That's her name, Archie. Name's too long for me to try and pronounce. Um, but no initial picks. A minute 30 left. 5v5 still. Jaeger is so close to death. Oh, and he gets the
Wow.
pick anyway. What good shots from him. Good shots from him. Blakey tried to get the refrag, but unfortunately just a bit too close. That was almost the head of one player, but not close enough to get the kill, unfortunately. And Team Unknown has the advantage in terms of lives. Going
in terms of
into
time as well, I was
yeah,
gonna say, because I mean, at the moment, Oracle, they don't have, actually that's their sledge, so that's a huge. They don't have any soft breach to make any holes above the
yeah.
armory site,
Hmm.
and that's gonna be a real detriment to them because there could be a player playing in the back of armory, which there isn't, but they don't know that because they don't have a sledgehammer to open that position up. Now they have to waste drones, and those drones could easily be shot out by the defenders. 30 seconds left though from for Team Oracle to make a play here on the attack on this
A bomb
defensive
has been
basement
located.
site. And there is going to be some Sophia stuns. There is a couple of
15
kills
seconds
going
left.
He
Unknown's way. There was a kill from Divine Trade. Ducky is in
planks going
sight
down.
behind the
10
bar,
seconds
and
to
he's
go.
planting. Divine is
Oh
there for the
my.
cover, but not for long because demolishes,
Diffuser.
and there he does get the plant down. But
Defenders have eyes
Bombarchi,
on the diffuser.
just behind that
Attackers need to
wall, does
protect it.
get the kill. And I mean, that's a bit unfortunate. I mean, that's not really unfortunate.
Defenders
That was the
disable the
round for
diffuser.
Team Unknown, and it looked that
Defender
way for a
mission
majority
successful.
of it, especially after they got the first pick going in their favor, making that a 4v5v4 very early on. Oracle just really slowed themselves down, and that's not necessarily because they didn't have a plan. It's mainly the fact that their main operator in Sledge was taken off completely from them. And when you do have an operator as crucial as Sledge is on a basement site, it tends to slow you down, and you don't really know where to go from there. So they had to make the decision to either make a play onto Kitchen Hatch, make a play onto Moto Hatch, or make a play onto Blue, and they did two of those. They made a play onto Moto Hatch. That's how you saw Ducky get into the middle of the site, and Divine was also there making cover. And they also had
Defenders
two other
protect your bombs
players
from being
pushing
defused by
down Blue
attackers.
as well, just to watch for those cross angles. But unfortunately, the Blue push was just completely unraveled. Just it was completely ripped from them. And after those two players died pushing Blue, they couldn't really do anything. I mean, you had Divine being the only player to watch over his his planter, and he can't do
Yeah.
anything against like four other Team Unknown players just rushing into the site at him.
Yeah, well, it's tough when you
Ten
list of
seconds left.
strategy and you go into attacking the bottom
5
site
seconds
and you're
left
like,
before
okay,
insertion.
we'll just get some vertical lines of sight open with our
Attackers'
soft
objective is to
breach.
locate a
And
bomb
when
and
your
defuse it.
one soft breach is done for the round and dead, it does just cause for panic, and that's why we saw just, all right, let's try and rush and make a play off of it. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But we'll see what they can do this time around as RH was trying to get a quick pick onto, I think that was Blakey of the Sophia just outside of that blue window. A little bit of aggression coming out of Unknown to start off these defender rounds, which is really
Bomb
interesting
located
because
by attackers.
sometimes, well, I would say so far it's a little bit more than 50-50, probably 60-40, just because Team Unknown is up one round. It is kind of working out in their favor, but then it isn't. I just feel like Oracle have yet to try and figure out how to really attack this defender aggression from Team Unknown, which is
Attackers
why
have
we
located a bomb.
haven't really seen them like take control of a certain part of the map yet. In terms of just starting out the round. Last round, it was what, at least 30 seconds to a minute before they decided to make any sort of presence. They're outside of this jacuzzi hot tub wall, but that's not really the site, is it? They're already watching the angles. They're expecting someone to go through that breach. They just have an interesting sort of attack here. They have Blakey all the way across the map trying to find a pick, and everyone else is just standing towards this jacuzzi side, droning the intel. Blakey's really low HP, which is not very good to try and get your one pick off of sight. But Divine onside gets the pick, which is really, really good. He has the breach into bathroom. He is already in bathroom with a minute left. They have the crossfire. They might know the intel because of that bulletproof camera. RH is in a position to try and stop this push, though. With 50 seconds left, this might be it. He didn't get spotted. Demolishes on low HP. Below, there are kills off of screen. 4 versus 3 in favor of Unknown. Another one for Thomas off screen. 4 versus 2. But then we see one and it's just a bloodbath so far, but 3v1 with 30 seconds left, and it looks like another team unknown round.
Yeah, Chaotic is going to be in this 1v3 situation on the sledge. He doesn't have any nades left. He does have his breaching camera, but I mean, this is a top floor site. What can you do with the breaching camera? Absolutely nothing. So he's going
Yeah.
to have to fight with his gun here. He is going to shoot at a player playing in
15 seconds
construction, but he
left.
doesn't know that there's a player playing. We do. He does get a nice
Oh!
headshot though onto RH
Attackers
just
recovered the
jumping
bomb
in.
diffuser. 10
He is going
Oh.
to try to
remaining.
plant with 10 seconds. The player pushing from construction, the player that he didn't know about, is going to get that kill. I I want to say the main reason why I think that push kind of went bad. It was good at first. Divine got the first kill. He made space for his team by then pushing into bathroom. He
Yep.
got some map control, and it was the map control directly into sight. I think the main reason why that didn't work is because we've seen a change coming from unknown. That didn't happen in the round before when they played this exact same site. They had a player playing on main stairs, which they didn't have. The last time that they played that site, they had two players playing in the actual site, which I said was a bad idea because Oracle slipped out that weakness. And then once Divine got those first two picks, it was over with because they had control of site. And then we saw a misfire nitro cell in that round. But
Defenders,
in this
protect
round
your
again, they
bombs
had
from
a
being
player playing
defused
on
by
main
attackers.
stairs or a player just lurking around that main stairs area. They did only have one player on site, but they played that retake so perfectly when the time came to play that retake. And it was made easy for them again because they knew that the run-in was going to happen because they had a player playing on that main stairs position, which they didn't have before. So when the retake came in, Oracle, I don't want to say it. That was most definitely that could have been a possible round for them, but they just weren't expecting the gunfights. It didn't look like they were expecting the gunfights, mainly for the fact that they just all the kills happened so fast, and then there were no trades going
5
to
seconds
Esports'
remaining.
way. But I mean, they're now on the defense, and the first site that
Attackers
they
must
did pick
locate
is
and
Cat
defuse a bomb.
CCTV. And they bring a mute. They do bring a Jaeger. They bring the Wamai Jaeger combo. And they also have this smoke as well. This is a little bit different than what we saw from Team Unknown. We saw the Thunderbird. They brought that out every single defensive round. And they usually play the Thunderbird on Disruptor's control with the support of the Jaeger ADSs. But Team Unknown didn't bring the Wamai or the Mute in support as well. So it's probably gonna make taking rapid control so hard. But I mean, first shot already come through, and Coyote is down to about like 40, 50, 90, 50 HP. That's like 40 HP. But Thumbs also takes a hit as well, but his health is gonna be regained by that Finka boost.
Magnet going up.
Yeah, whenever he does decide to use that finger boost, he will be closer to full HP as he does use at least one within the first couple of seconds in the round. They're just trying to gather this intel. In terms of the setup that Oracle has, I do enjoy the Jaeger Wamai setup more than the Thunderbird, in my opinion. I feel as if Thunderbird is useful. I'm not too sure if it really worked out on that Raptors control. We'll see how it differs between Wamai and Thunderbird, as we're seeing right now. I mean, Chaotic is just still having that Raptors control, but Unknown is just deciding to not
Attackers
take
have
that
located a
route
bomb.
and go towards Cash and construction. They're going to get the construction wall. The Bronze 6 is going to go out. Thumps is going to throw some nades in. Hopefully they have an ADS or Wamai disc set up. Thumps is just rushing in. He's in sight. They don't even know, probably. That's not good. That's not good. Demolished has the bomb, though. Where's Demolished? He's there. He's going to come in and plant on the breach they just made. And they're going to get this. Oh, but the smoke canister, is he going to get hurt enough to not get this plant off? No, the plant does get off, but he is dead from that smoke canister. But 4v1, Divine, last guy alive. He seems like the clutch master of this team, as he's last alive a lot here, trying to get towards the bomb, but no. Unknown has the angles covered.
It's a bit of a. That was a good round from Unknown. They figured out the setup of Garage, and I don't want to say. Actually, I kind of want to say it. I think they figured out the setup in Garage, and they were just like, "Nah, let's not."
Yeah,
Because
I
they
mean,
would have had to waste so much utility to deal with
right.
it, And also, I mean, taking thought that the fact that there were mute jammers there. Once a like the thing that didn't change with the mute jammers is the fact that they can still screw your drones over and they can get caught in them most definitely. That's the one thing that hasn't changed with the mute jammers. And so once if a drone is caught into it, then it makes it easy pickings for the
Defenders,
defenders.
protect your bombs
In
from
that
being
sense, they
defused by
knew how
attackers.
strong the Raptors' control was. They didn't go for it, mainly for the fact that they knew they couldn't really push Coyote out of that position. And I think it was Thumbs who was playing over there that got tagged up. That was like, I don't think we can take this, and so they opted out for a construction push. They had a player also on the server window that was near the server windows that's nearest to the construction window as well. And I mean, it was a good not reach around. It was a good adjustment from Team
10
Unknown.
seconds remaining.
And Oracle's again just weren't prepared for the
5
gunfight
seconds to
that
go.
came their way. Team Unknown very deadly in that attack. Mainly, I mean,
Attackers' objective is to locate a
mainly
bomb
for the
and
fact
defuse
that
it.
they were just all the way deep inside, and Oracle did not have any intel whatsoever. And that's a shame because that's what the Valkyrie and Echo would be used for. But I mean, Maestro's used for. So there you go. And they also have forward. I mean, I don't know. But RH is going to get the first pick onto Coyote. Thatcher, oh my god, and that's a fast pick for Team Unknown, grabbing Ducky.
Bomb
But
located by
Blakey might be able to, well, he might be able to get a trade here. Thumbs does. It is a 5v2, now 4v1, and oh, Demolish and Dumb gets a kill each, making this a 4v1. The plant is gonna go down, but the round is over because before the plant can even go down, Team Unknown making quick mincemeat of Oracle, and there's nothing to really analyze about that round because
Oh,
again, it's as simple as Team Oracle were just destroyed. There you go.
um, yeah, I just feel like Unknown took the momentum from, as you spoke on earlier, the defender-sided map of Clubhouse. The swap was 4-2 in favor of Unknown. Um, and when you start on the back foot of any map, of any match, really, it's hard to gain that traction, gain that momentum back for a team. And so I'm interested to see if Oracle has what it takes to maybe
attackers need
try
to
and win a
locate and
couple
defuse
rounds
as many
on
bombs as they can.
defense. As we've seen so far, it was a defender-sided map, but now
Yeah.
that Unknown are on the attack, it's looking more like an attacker-sided map. So I just feel like Unknown have most of the momentum on this match point. It's not looking very good for Oracle. They really need to step up here. This is the round to do it.
Yeah, I mean, also taking note, as well. This is Team Unknown's map pick, and they're showing
Yeah.
exactly why. They're showing themselves as like a really, really good clubhouse team, and we've seen that so many times
10
throughout
seconds
the
left.
Talent League Season 6, especially in Major League with a lot of these
5 seconds
top
left
tier
before
teams.
insertion.
Like I want to say, even though QVG, I've said before, with a
Attackers must
close line
locate and
team,
defuse the bomb.
they can play clubhouse very well. I know MSA can play clubhouse very well. Esports are a good clubhouse team. Those are some good teams to note for clubhouse games. But I mean, you said it before, but it's just Oracle aren't really doing enough on these defenses to kind of stop what's going on. I mean, that's good enough.
Oh,
Ducky getting a kill through a very nice peek onto the unsuspecting player on that buck. But there goes 2 kills. Actually, now 3 kills going their way. Blakey getting a double in this round. Now, I mean, that's your buck gone, that's your Finka gone, and that's now your Ayana up to the Thatcher in a 1v4 situation. Fallen is 1 and 3. So he would have to be like what? Now, okay, he is 2 and 3 now. He did get that kill onto the play. So now he has to be like 5. He'd have to go positive in order to make this clutch work out. But he does have some EMP grenades, which he does waste one, so now he only has the one. And he also has 3 breaching charges. What he can do with that?
oh,
Absolutely nothing, because the Spire is on this main stairs window. He got the call that there was a player in there. He was just walking the rotation, and that's a kill with the MK14 with that 1.5. And that's a round for Oracle Esports. So we asked for a change, and they brought it to us.
hey, there we go. I think what happened that round is I think Oracle took a page out of Unknown's book and just said, "Let's be aggressive and let's see how it works out." And it definitely worked out that round. We just saw a couple roamers. That Malusi was a really big factor in that round as well. Good stuff. Good step in the right direction to try and force an overtime. They have to go back to gym and bedroom, and we're gonna see Mira for the first time brought out. I spoke on it a little earlier in the preamble about how, Mira should probably be banned on
Attackers need
this
to
map,
locate and defuse the
and we've yet
bomb.
to see her till right this very second. We're also seeing Bandit for the first time. I, 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 I'm interested. I'm liking this setup from Oracle.
Yeah, that's one thing I think Oracle. I mean, they did ban out the Valkyrie, so it's not the Echo wouldn't have made much of a difference neither, because again, a lot
Bomb
of people
located
don't
by
Yeah.
attackers.
necessarily pick Echo.
hmm
From what I've seen, I, I was gonna say it's mainly Intel that's really biting right now, but it's not
10
really
seconds to
that.
go.
It's just the fact that the main reason why Team Unknown just
5 seconds remaining.
are on match point right now, they're 6-3, they have such a good lead at the moment, is
Attackers
mainly
objective
because their
is
fragging
the bomb.
power is just so good. And I'm mainly talking about Thumbs and RH Thumbs, and also Bombardier as well. All three of them are positive. The only two players that aren't positive are their support players, which isn't uncommon to see within Siege.
Oh,
Okay,
and again, it
there
got
goes
killed
some
by the
aggression though.
same angle twice.
Yeah, no, that's just some that again, like you said, it Oracle now figuring out that, hey, look, if we play with the same aggression, we could probably catch him off guard. That wasn't I wouldn't really say that is aggression to an extent, but it's just also some angles that Team Unknown aren't expecting. They're also not expecting the Rooney with an MK14 to be pressed up that far into CCTV, and he gets another kill. This goes to Thumbs, another crucial operator for this attack. Intel gone with the Iana clones. This is just gone because the Iana is dead. Now
Oh,
the heal's gone. Now you're hard breathing. Only hard breathing that they don't have it. Fallen does get a trade onto Blakey, and it makes this possible
sort
by
of.
like 10%. There went. I don't really think they have much chance. And Bombardi's not even
Oh,
right way. Despite
oh
it,
God!
right next to him, and he's not even looking at him. And it's left Fallen in a 1v4 situation. He doesn't have a kit possible. He does have EMPs, but not a kit to clutch this out. He only has the L5, and he does get a kill with it though. That's Stucky on that mirror down, but he's looking again. It's an unknown player looking the wrong way, not expecting the player to play that close to him. And that's the round again for Oracle Esports. And they're only 2 rounds away from tying this up. What was a 6-2 lead has turned into a 6-4.
Yeah, huge momentum swing those last 2 rounds for Oracle. Fallen, I think, was playing to die in that scenario. The bomb was down all the way, really far from him. I think he was just trying to get some picks off. I don't know. I've yet to see, like, in terms of an attack not going right. For example, that last round, it didn't really go that right, and Fallen was still alive with a couple seconds left. When do you decide, all right, let's just like take these last couple seconds to talk about,
Attackers need to
what
locate
we
and
did
defuse
and
as
how we
many
can
bombs
fix
as
it
they
for
can.
next round? Just because Oracle is making a comeback. We are seeing it happen right now, 6-4. And if they get this round, it's one more until we hit overtime. So when is it gonna end? Is Unknown gonna lose the grip they had on the momentum, and Oracle's just gonna take the reins from now on? I'm not too sure, but it is looking more defender-sided after those 2 rounds have ended. And
10
we're
seconds
looking
to insertion.
at the same setup they ran the last time we went
5
to this
seconds left
site
before
for
insertion.
Oracle, and this site is cache CCTV. I'm
Attackers must
expecting
locate and defuse
around
the
the
bomb.
same setup, if not maybe a little bit different. And I think Unknown might attack the same way in terms of where they decide to set up everything, but we will see how that happens as Unknown have spawned in and they're going to drone out for intel and finally understand that they are playing this Raptors and see if they decide to go elsewhere. Interesting to note that they're bringing Monty for the first time on attack, so we'll see how that plays into their favor. They might decide just to go up this Raptors control with the large mountain.
Yeah, that's the thing about Monty. Monty isn't there to get you frags. He's just there to feed you intel. He's there to make the defenders panic, and he's there to also make them waste utility. He's wasted 2 impact nades on him, and he can push this without being moved. Apart from the fact that smoke grenades do damage, but also if he
Yeah.
blows that up, then the one Mai also has to take damage as well. And then he also, if he has to run away as well, he has to expose himself a little bit in order to escape from them. But there goes the smoke grenades trapping him. Now Remark is
Oh
down,
boy.
and that Monty pig just wasn't. Yeah, with the smokes, with the impact nades, everything was not. It just didn't go their way. And I mean, two other kills besides Bombarchi has just been collected, and it's again the three players that I'm talking about, the top 3 players
Yeah,
on
they're
Team
gone.
Unknown who are mainly getting the picks, who are mainly supposed to be getting those frags, and they're already dead.
Bomb
This has
located by
happened for
attackers.
like the last 2 rounds in a row that we've seen Oracle Esports win. When they take out those 3 fraggers, which they've been able to do on Team Unknown's attack, it's just not been good enough from Team Unknown. And it's one of those things where I'm thinking maybe if the support players are able to frag out, if they're able to get be a little bit more supportive to their team, to the point where they can get those picks, help them get those picks, help their fraggers make space for them. Team Unknown can have some more positive outcomes in this round. But again, Oracle are getting very aggressive, and the kills are stacking up in their favor. Divine is on 12 and 8. I mean, the rest of them, Divine is on 12 and 8, Blakey's on 10 and 8. The rest of them are negative, but it's mainly Divine and Blakey just getting the picks for them at the moment. 35 seconds left to go for Team Unknown on this attack. Smokes are in their way, but Divine doesn't have any smokes left. He's wasted 2 of them on the Monty, and then he just used it on the construction push that came in from Team Unknown.
Yeah, but 2v4 situation with 17 seconds left. They have to get the bomb down. Aspire knows the location, but Fallen gets the pick on the top red stairs. He has really good control of the site so far, but the bomb is down from that shotgun shot of Divine.
No!
And he's gonna get another one! Oh my god! Well, what a hold there from Oracle at the last couple remaining seconds. One thing I want to touch on is Monty went up the rafters stairs, right? And he was just standing there, right?
Yeah.
Who is helping the man that does not have a
Absolutely
gun
no
to
one.
hold? No one.
Absolutely. See, that's the
No one
thing.
was helping.
I said that with the Monty pick, he's not gonna give you frags. He's just gonna give you intel, and he's gonna put pressure on the player playing on a position that you do want to clear. But also he has to have a gun in support of that.
Right.
If in the situation, he's like, you have to keep in mind that he's pushing up rafters, and when he's pushing up rafters,
Attackers need to
he
locate
has,
and defuse
well,
the
I want to say
diffuser.
so many angles looking at
Yeah.
him. But the main 3 that I'm looking at, there's a player looking at him from rafters. That's the one that he's trying to push out, and he also has to worry about the angle that's created between on that wall that separates garage and CCTV. He also has to worry about the player playing at the bottom of garage in that lobby area. How come if he's pushing in there, why is nobody watching at the
Yeah.
bottom of him? And then maybe why is nobody like also, yeah, why is nobody watching below him? Maybe pushing from stock into that lobby area so that that doesn't happen, or maybe pushing from secret
5 seconds
into that
left
actual
before
position.
insertion.
But also the wall, I mean, they could open
Attackers
that
are
wall
moving
up,
out to
the,
locate a
the
bomb
big
and
server
defuse
wall
it.
that separates the wall from the outside. They could open that up, and then watch for the smoke grenades just
Yeah.
going
But
through. Because I think the smoke
none of that happened.
none of that happened, and that was just, I mean, that wasn't bad Monty play. That was good Montying on his part.
It's
It was
bad.
just horrible support
Yeah.
play from his team.
Agreed.
That was kind of awful to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
It was. It's disheartening to see a support player just like die by himself with no help. It hurts.
I was just like looking at that, and I was like, "Yo, he's kind of suffering in silence, y'all.
Yeah, I know.
Help this man."
Um,
That was pretty sad, but he's not going Monty this time. He doesn't trust his teammates enough. Clearly, so he's
I
gonna
don't blame
push
him.
this
I don't blame him.
But I mean, it's been like, I want to say this has been 3 rounds in a row from Team Oracle. Well, that's one. I was gonna ask. What was one thing that you think they could do to help win? What do you think they can do to change their outcome in these rounds? And I was just
We
gonna
just
say
got
maybe the first tick could go in their way. Oh my god, but fire.
oh, close refrag.
Yeah. So
That
far,
would have been
this match is
huge.
just crazy right now.
Yeah, this match got really, really entertaining the last couple rounds. Oracle really making this a match at the end. They are down a man though, and this is the last round that you want to be down a man with a minute 24 left on match point. Fallen off of the Thatcher onto the Buck and getting that kitchen hatch open with his pocket so hard breach, but didn't get it off the impact trick. A Capkin of Ducky, even though Ducky's off the board, his Capkin traps did enough to kill Thumbs. So that's a 4v4
A bomb has been
situation,
located.
and that's a huge, huge kill in terms of execution, as there's only 50 seconds left for Unknown to try and get this bomb down, and without a Finka, that's going to make it a bit more difficult. And another one. Barchi down and dusted. And like you touched on, the fraggers of Unknown are getting off the board first,
Bomb
and
located by
Oracle are
attackers.
doing their job to make sure that they do not have an influence on the round. And with 30 seconds left, it is looking more and more like an overtime.
God, no. This does not bode well for Team Unknown. They got 15 seconds left to go,
Oh,
but that's
he's
a
swinging.
weird swing from Blakey. I almost called him that again. Blakey. And there goes Fallen to grab the frag, but they got 10 seconds left to go. And there goes the. Oh my god, this
Oh, Ella.
5 seconds to
And
go.
it's still that go Ella's way despite Aspire confirming it. RH
Operators,
does
you
get a
have
kill
run out
at
of
the
time.
end, but he didn't clutch. Ella not looking the right way, and he shoots him in the back of the head, execution style, but he's not able to do the same to the remaining Oracle players. Again, what was a 6-2 turns into overtime, and Unknown are going to be upsetting themselves. That's not. I'm pretty sure that's gonna tank their mental times 100. That's going to hurt, and they start off on the attack in overtime. That adds insult to injury.
Yeah, it's tough to not feel tilted or lose full over the fact that you had so much momentum, so much. You literally needed to win one round out of four, and you couldn't do it, and that must be so tough. And they have to start on the attack once again for overtime. So it's
Defenders,
not
protect your
looking good
bombs
for
from being
Unknown.
defused
They
by
really have to
team.
try and figure something out here to get this round in their favor, because if they don't, the last round on OT match point, they'll be on the attack,
Yeah.
and you don't want that. If that happens, it looks like it's gonna be whoever is gonna be on the defense, and right now that's gonna be Oracle.
Yeah.
So this is probably the pivotal round that Unknown needs to win. If they don't, it's gonna look really,
10
really
seconds remaining.
scary. Because as we touched on earlier, it is Unknown's map pick.
5
So
seconds.
what happens when
Attackers
Oracle
discover the
wins
location of a bomb.
Unknown's map pick and then goes to Coastline, where
Bomb.
Unknown, last time they played Coastline, it was a 7-0,
And it was.
and they lost. And so that doesn't look very good either for Unknown. So they really need to win this map. I'm rooting for them. Let's see what they can do as they just spawned in. They're gonna try and gain some intel, but already demolish of the ace gone.
Their
Bomb
only
is
heart
down,
breaker.
and that was the nitro from Ducky's Mira. Oh my, what a play from him, and he's gonna challenge this hatch saying, this is my logistics, and you cannot come in. You have to wait till Coastline, because this is our map, but Thomas gets a pick, saying, wait a minute, we want to win this too. But 2 minutes left in a 4v4. It looks like it's just going to stall out just for a little bit. I think both teams are just trying to figure out what each team is doing. It looks like a huge 3-stack push into the Raptors, trying to gain control of the Cash CC side of Clubhouse. And Thatcher on top of this logistics hatch. Ducky's trying to find the head. Spots it, looks it, sees it, but does not get the kill. Oh, that was so close. Fallen playing with death.
Team Unknown is I don't I don't know. That's their only hard breacher.
Attackers bomb
That's what
diffuser
I'm
has
kind of
been dropped.
harping on. That's their only and hard breaches on Clubhouse are just so like crucial, especially on the top floor sites. Oh my
Oh,
god, but
what
they
a
do get
nade.
2 kills going their way. It's a double for thumbs. The fragger doing work
Oh,
as well as Bombarchi on this swing to fire and it's to Oracle looked so good very early on, grabbing the only
Attackers have
hard breacher
recovered their
that
diffuser.
Unknown needed. Unknown needed to push this site, but they proved to us that they don't need a hard breacher. They just need guns. They need fraggers. But I mean, we've seen Unknown in good positions before, and it does work out in their
oh.
favor. Bombarchi and Thumbs getting a kill each. Jiggle peeking Sophia with the LMG, and the LMG doesn't, and he does win that round for his team. And it's the first round in 4 very
Wow.
bad rounds for Unknown. One round, one attacking round out
Oh,
of 4 that we've seen from them, and they win it. It's their first
that
attacking round in a while.
yeah, and
My God.
it was the one that they needed. It was the one that they needed. Now they're on the defense, and they have no momentum. The ball is in their court. Oracle has to try and get the ball back. I don't know if it's going to happen. We're seeing CC Cash for Unknown's last defending round. Oracle has to win this round to win the match, in my opinion. If they don't,
Defenders, protect your
obviously
bombs
Team
from being
Unknown
defused
wins
by
and we
attackers.
go to Clubhouse. If they do, there's another round, and they're going to go back on the defense. And I think that's what you want to happen here. In terms of what we're seeing so far, the defenders are looking more like the advantage here on Clubhouse, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this round. To be quite honest with you, it's been a back and forth brawl, um, in, until the last 4 rounds where
10
we've
seconds
been into
left.
overtime, and now that we're here, now that I have to
5
like
seconds to
think
insertion.
about who might win this round, it's tough.
Yeah,
Attackers are
I
moving
feel
out
like
to
if
locate a
Unknown
bomb and
win this
defuse it.
round, they still won't be happy with their performance.
Right?
I,
Yeah.
I know it's a win is a win, no matter what, and you are going to take that on the chin and accept the win, regardless of how tough it is. But that doesn't mean you have to be happy with how it went.
Right.
And Unknown, for well over the whole time regulation was on our
Attackers have
screens
located a
when
bomb.
they were 6-2 up and we saw those 4 rounds go in the Oracle way that brought us into overtime. They haven't looked good on their attacks, and that's something that they want to fix when they actually do end up going when they do go
Bomb
further
located by
into
attackers.
tight and serious. But we see the push coming from Oracle. We know what their plan is. They have 2 players on a kill facing this service wall that has just been detonated by the Thatcher. They also have the second very hard breach again. They're just going to be opening. I think he actually used. Yeah, he used 2. He used 2 of his exothermics, one on the garage wall and then one on the service wall. And then you also see the ace breach on the right side of the garage wall, the garage garage door,
Mm.
and the breach facing the window separating uh, garage from servers. That's a good angle to have from
Oh
the
my.
outside. But what the hell is this from
Oh boy.
Oracle? They just all run in and they don't take us from demolish. That's just demolishing them on 2 kill Oracle's away, and it's another chaotic,
What is a team?
Attackers
and it
incoming.
boils down to 3-2, and it's another kill. One is all up to Chaotic to keep their dreams on Clubhouse alive, but he has to isolate his 1v1s. And if Team Unknown play this as a team, it's going to be so hard for him to clutch this out. He has 1:10 left to go. He doesn't have any frag grenades, but he does have diffuser in hand and a lot of time to work with. So the Nitro Cell comes out, but it doesn't hit its mark. He does have a player playing
Oh.
in red hallway, but he can't connect a shot because
Oh,
Thumbs
and
is just better.
Tom's going huge for Team Unknown. 19 kills on the Clubhouse to take the 8-6 dub. And you're right, I think Unknown is definitely going to look back on this and think, we didn't play that well, but we got the win. And, let's go to Clubhouse and see what we can do better. I mean, 18, 11. huge stuff from a couple of players from Unknown. I liked what I saw from Oracle, I really did, and it was a back and forth brawl, but the community was right so far in terms of choosing who will win this match as Unknown, up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, we'll see what happens come Clubhouse. I don't really know what to expect on Clubhouse because again, we've said it so many times, we've highlighted it plenty in this broadcast. The fact that Unknown, when they did play on Coastline last time, they played against
Right.
team formerly known as Team Watch It, now LFO, looking for an org. By the way, if you're an org, please pick them up. They are very decent players. But they did lose that map 7-0 against them. And for Oracle, they only lost that 8-7 against QEG. 8-7 is a lot different than a 7-0. I don't think I need to tell you that. And
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
with how frightening Clubhouse was for Team Unknown, I'm very scared for how they'll play for Coastline.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they did have the momentum most of that coastline until the last 4 where we went into OT, and then they kinda grasped it back
Yeah.
once they went into OT, so, I mean, and then if you're Oracle, how are you feeling after that match? You won 4 rounds to take it to OT, and then you lose your defense, and then you have a odd strategy of just opening up the default breach, and hey everyone, let's just all stack and run through 'cause that works. And so that play call was a little bit questionable, but regardless, that map's over. And I'm not too sure. I really do, now seeing these teams in action for at least one map, um, I do see Unknown as just coming out on top. I mean, I might be eating my words from earlier, feeling like Oracle might be the ones to take this match, but I don't know. Unknown is really just making sure that we have a good match.
All right.
But
Yeah.
regardless, before we get into this next match of Coastline, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break. Go grab some water, grab some snacks, and get ready for this coastline coming up, and we'll see you back here shortly. Hello, and welcome back to Talent League, the Titan series, the lower bracket. It is Team Unknown. It is Oracle Esports. We are already done with the first map being Clubhouse. If you missed any of it, make sure and go back and watch it. We save all of our VODs onto YouTube. Just search Talent League R6 and you'll find it. Just look for the crown logo. You know what the crown logo looks like. You've been here before. But anyways, we're gonna get into our second map, and our second map being Coastline. Let's get it. We're in here. Team Unknown does have the series 1-0 currently, and we're gonna see what Oracle has to say about it on this map as we're gonna start out the ban phase. The last ban phase, we did not see Thatcher. Are we gonna see this Thatcher this time, 1B?
No, well, both of these teams, whenever they played Coastline, actually, never mind. We will probably see a Thatcher ban, but I mean, this is a little bit normal. This is expected. Nomad is to be banned because I mean, defenders have such a hard time playing on Coastline. They have such a hard time roaming on it, and it would be made so much more difficult if the Nomad is played. So Nomad is banned. She's out of here. I probably am. If they haven't banned Thatcher on Clubhouse, then I probably will not see it here, and we
Oh,
won't. We see the Ying ban, and that is actually an interesting one. I wonder why. Maybe they've watched some Team Unknown VODs, and one of these Team Unknown players has played Ying before on the same map, and it's been effective for them. But again, we said it so many times, Team Unknown lost 7-0 on this map, so I don't think it was effective if we have seen them play it.
well, yeah, Ying is just effective in terms of she has three very strong flashbangs, and with the flashbang rework, where you, regardless if you look away, you will be flashed. It is a proximity. It is not based on if you can see the flashbang or not. So she's a fairly strong operator, especially on Coastline. Coastline is definitely a more frag heavy map, and you can gain a lot of control with Ying's Candelas in certain spots for sure. And the last two bans we are going to see is Valkyrie once again and Mira. Pretty two standard bans in terms of most maps in Siege, but Coastline definitely being one of them.
Yeah, Mira's more so for the fact that she does have a lot of power positions where she can
Yeah.
play in and be most effective. What comes to mind is if you're playing when you're playing on Penthouse Theater,
Hmm.
you have the mirror windows playing from theater watching the VI
Attackers need to
the I want
locate
to
and
say the
defuse the
VI
bomb.
the guitar hallway, sorry, the guitar hallway, the Hall of Fame hallway that separates theater from penthouse, or even have the same mirror wall facing that same area the bathrooms are. And even if you're not playing in penthouse theater, if you're playing in kitchen service, you still have that same hold in that same area. She can also be effective on this site from the hallways. I'm thinking uh, a mirror window on this cool
10 seconds
vibe
left.
wall, or I'm so sorry, the hookah wall facing the hallway wall
5
that
seconds left.
again
Yeah.
connects that same area. I keep forgetting what it's called for some
Attackers
odd
are moving
reason.
out to locate a
Um,
bomb and defuse
Also in this
it.
same
Attackers
hallway,
have
if you're
dropped the bomb
doing a
diffuser.
penthouse theater defense, there goes the wall in that little L hallway that's facing the theater, the VIP
Attackers
wall.
have
Holy
recovered
crap,
their
I keep
diffuser.
forgetting my calls. But the that L hallway wall that's facing the VIP wall, and etc. etc. There's so many power positions that Mira can be played in, and it's very crucial that you don't allow her to be played here on Coastline if you struggle so much against her. But you know, it's the defense. Actually, no, I'm so sorry. That's not a Thunderbird gun. That's the Finka's gun, and that's Finka using it. And it's going to be Thumb to get the first pick in this round. It is going to be Team Unknown on the attack, Oracle Esports on the defense. And again, like we said, the first site is going to be the Suka Billiards, and it seems to be an extended hold from Oracle Esports. You see a couple players downstairs. You see a player in the lobby area. Well, not no more because Thumbs killed him, and he gets a double this.
Yeah, Tums really taking his momentum from last map with 18 kills and getting two to start this match. I'm feeling on the fact that the spear gets you confused. There was a Finka meta where you ran the LMG until Thunderbird came out, and then everyone realized the spear was pretty good. So now that we have two spears on either
Ooh.
side, but what a shot! We just
Bomb
saw the
located
spear
by
in
attackers.
action, and how it can be very deadly with that nice headshot. And now a 3v4 with a minute 20 left, still enough time to try and gain more map control and see the kind of execute unknown one to do. Demolish in a really good position. RH also in a really good position to cover Demolish on the plant. They're gonna go for it. Here we go. Plant going down. Angles are being watched. Do they know?
Oh, such a
Yes,
good
Nitro
pull.
out. Nitro
Attackers have
shot.
engaged the diffuser.
3v3 bomb is down. RH is gone. 2v1 and attackers. Wow, what a push. What a shot on the Nitro cell, because that was gonna take the planter up for
Oh, I mean
sure.
that was good. Plant watch from RH.
Yeah.
Now he didn't get a kill, but I mean he did get the most important pick of them all,
Yeah,
and that
he
was a
did his
nitro cell
job.
pick. That was like so close to that being a kill, and he just like pops it out like he's Bolo or
Mhm.
something. But again, they're gonna go back to hookah billiards. That round wasn't really that close, in my honest opinion. I felt like Team Unknown still had such a huge advantage, especially from the two early picks that we saw Thumbs get on that spear. Spear doing work for both Thumbs and Aspire. Aspire only getting the one pick, but he had a really nice shot with it
Attackers need to
nonetheless. But
locate
we're
and
gonna go back
defuse
to that
bomb.
same site. And Oracle clearly confident in this pick. They don't wanna move off of it just yet, but I feel like if Team Unknown win it this time, they're gonna move on to another site. And I mean, there are some with the rework that Coastline has got. Most of the sites are very, very viable now. Especially the Penthouse Theater site. A lot of teams recently have gone there. There are so many good strats. Well, with the mayor being banned, even if the mayor is banned, there's still some you can play on the Penthouse Theater site in order to help your team have a much better chance
10
of
seconds
winning
to
it
insertion.
out. But I mean, it seems like the same type of hold that we
5
see
seconds left before insertion.
Had in the last round, a more extended hold, especially with those
Attackers'
holds
objective is to
on
locate a
that
bomb and defuse it.
service wall facing lobby. Um, Nothing is going to be really changed here. They're going to still bring the Oryx out. They have the same exact lineup from what I've noticed. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else
Yeah.
to say
I
about
mean,
it.
I'm not too sure that I like the fact that they're going back to the same site. I really think this map plays heavily into Unknown's
Ooh.
favor. We saw their aggression in Clubhouse. This coastline is definitely an aggressive side. It really favors who likes to be more aggressive, who can get those picks, who has the better fraggers. There are strategies and fundamentals in play for this map, but let's be honest, it's really more of a bloodbath, more of a gunfight, more of who has the better shot on coastline for sure. Just in terms of how small the map is, as you touched on, it's just easier to get into those gunfights and find those people to kill. As Thomas once again getting another kill early round to make it a 5v4. He's on low HP. Aspire tried to get the refrag, but to no avail as Tums is still live. And another pick off screen, 5v3. And as I touched on, we're seeing it in action. The aggressiveness of the attack of Unknown really flourishing currently.
Yeah, I feel like we do see the gridlock picked as well. There's not. I don't think there's really a lot to talk about with utility being used at the moment because it's just pure gunfight between both of these teams. And I'm pretty sure the viewers would love to hear about gridlock. But again, like I said, these gunfights are probably the most important thing about Kosa. I mean, she did set off some of those track stingers on the main stairs, but she also has just to watch for her flank. But she also has on the stairs door watching the flank as well. But Thumbs is just gonna move off of that. So those track stingers are gonna be the only thing
A bomb
alerting
has
them
been
of a
located.
flank if it ever does come. And it's not going to come because all of Oracle are in this hookah billiards position. I mean, in this hookah position, you have two of them in the actual site and then one of them in the actual hallway, just watching for somebody to run in. But there's also a player from Team Unknown The
They
plant
don't
is
know
going
he's
to
in.
go down, and there goes a nitro. I mean,
Grenade.
frag grenade from below. Oh my god. Chaotic does get the player that did throw that nitro below, but he gets traded out by Bombarchi. Bombarchi is just going to spray through the wall from the E because all it does is go bare. And there goes the round for Team Unknown. 2 very quick rounds going their way. Just very, very aggressive attacks. With not really, I would say there's not a lot of utility being used
No,
because for Coastline, it's forgivable that you don't use any utility because it's
definitely.
a team deathmatch type of match. You want to get into as many gunfights as possible, but you also want to win them.
Oh, most definitely. And I think that's why we're seeing interesting operators like Gridlock being brought is because it's kind of like a nomad replacement where you can just throw it and it kind of watches your flank, not necessarily, but I mean it does sort of
Yeah.
do that. And so um it's helpful in that aspect at least, but in terms of like what we've seen utility wise,
Attackers
it
need to
hasn't
locate
been
and
much other
defuse the
than
bomb.
frag grenades and bullets. In terms of the
Attackers
attacking
have located a
side
bomb.
of Unknown, I do want to see what this Vigil pick from Divine has bringing out, as we're seeing Ducky
Attackers have discovered the
make the
location of
rework
the
of
bomb.
Capkin useful as he puts down 2 EDDs on one doorway with an Aruni gate. That's an interesting little strat there. We'll see if that has any influence on the round. I'm not too sure it will, as so far
10 seconds
what
left
we've
before
seen
insertion.
is not very strategic. It's more
5
of
seconds to go.
positioning and gunfights and who wins them.
Attackers'
Yeah,
objective is to defuse a
and
bomb.
that's one thing about Capkin to note. You can get so many kills without taking a direct fight, and I think that's what their main goal is to do here. It's just to slow down the attackers. They do have the Rooney in play to also do that as well. That's what those gates are for. If they're prepping for a rush here, yes, they are. They're just gonna
Oh my.
they're gonna breach the door open. They're gonna not even get a pick. That's actually Divine. But all
There's
three of
3 of
them,
them.
sorry, Demolish does get it from the position that he is. Jumps. There goes a kill going
Why
Coyote's
is
way with an.
Bomb
And he gets him through his
Oh,
last one. He knifes him. Oh my god. That was
oh no.
the rush from Team Unknown. Just, I mean, it wasn't really, it didn't look great at first. Divine getting a pick, but they got so many kills going their way. They just jumped in.
Oh
And
my
Flaky
god.
from Lobby ends up grabbing the rotation that didn't make. And it is a round for Oracle Esports. That rush, again, okay, it wasn't looking that bad at first. The first pick did go Oracle's way, but once they got into sight, they got some pretty good picks going their way. Demolish on that butt, getting a pick on a player in kitchen, and then a kill happening elsewhere from a same player that was like right behind him. Unfortunately, what didn't go their way was the fact that he Demolish jumped through the service window into the other part of service, and it was right next to a softball. And the Mossberg versus a soft wall with the player behind it, it's just gonna the Mossberg is gonna make mincemeat of it, and he makes mincemeat of him. And then he before that though he also got
Defenders,
a pick
protect
on a
your
player
bombs
that was
from being
supporting
defused
him.
by
They
attackers.
couldn't take care of him. They couldn't kill him, and he got so many good picks going his way. I mean, that was an interesting round to say the least, but I mean a needed one for Oracle Esports because their defenses, at least on billiards, wasn't looking too hot.
Yeah, but I don't know who was playing mute that round because it wasn't Divine and it wasn't Ducky because Ducky was captain last round. But whoever was that mute from last round, you single-handedly saved that round for your team, and that's why you are 2-1 right now, as you touched
5
on.
seconds
Just
left
that
before
shot
insertion.
through the softball to stop the plant was pivotal,
Attackers are moving
um,
to defuse a
I
bomb.
think it was
along with
a
just
round.
getting the yeah. I think you're right. Um, but yeah, getting that pick on the Finca and then the planter as well, just to win that round for your team, a huge, huge influence. And great stuff to get the first round on the board for Oracle, and that might bring momentum. And they said, we like the downstairs. And so now we're going to go to the double bar site, double bar being the blue bar and the sunrise bar. Come get a drink, come get a cocktail. The bar is open, folks, as the attackers of Unknown are definitely trying to scope out the strategy for this one. It doesn't look like a rush this time around, but RH right off the bat, within the first 30 seconds, gets the first pick, and we've seen it 3 times in a row now. Unknown getting the first pick on Coastline.
Yeah, and that's the office, the player playing in office that was the Jaeger of Oracle, and that gives them some pretty good map control. Not only do they have map control on Aqua, the site, the room right above this office site, but they probably have control of the whole top floor, as you see Sophia just clearing it and making space up for her team, while also gaining map control in their favor. But also, since office is such a pivotal side of the map to gain control of, they do open up this wall, and the main reason why office is such a piece of the map to get control of is because it's right next to blue bar, and it has a wall that you can open up, and he just jumps right in. There goes Demolish to get a plant right next to the reinforced wall.
Oh my
Favor,
god.
Nitro Cell gonna go off, but it's not even anywhere near where the player is planting because he's right next to you. There goes the cover from Fallen, RH grabbing a kill elsewhere, and it's up to the 2 lone players of Oracle Esports who are already down a couple points of HP. Divine actually has snuck his way into sight. And he does grab a kill to the player that was like right next to him. But this is a 3v1 now. Thumbs grabs 2 of his own, and it's another round, a third round for Team Unknown as they make, well, good use of the attacking advantage that they do.
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit better utility in that aspect. I mean, Oracle didn't even know that Buck was running into plant. They were using smokes and grenades to really mask that sound of where they were planting. And smart from Unknown to decide to plant deep into sight, right next to like the rotations, because they knew that Oracle did have nitrocells to deny the plant if they planted closer to, where they had map control, which was towards that office side. So that was really, really good.
Attackers
I
need to
think that
locate
was
and
a big
defuse
influence
bombs.
on the round, just in terms of how you can watch the bomb and watch over the bomb,
Location of a
get the
bomb.
bomb down for sure. And again, we're seeing Oracle decide to go to the same site again and again, and that's interesting. And I have to give them a huge I don't know, understanding, some confidence. Like they feel like, all right, we made mistakes the last time, we can fix them. Let's do it right now instead of what we've seen so
10
far in
seconds remaining.
competitive siege. You lose a site on a map, for
5
example.
seconds to
We
go.
just saw the double bar being lost, and most teams decide to go to a
Attackers are
different
moving to
site
defuse a
after
bomb.
just because they feel as if, the attackers have figured out the way they want to play this site. So maybe a new, fresh set of strategy on a different site might work. But Oracle isn't that way. They really want to try and see if they can fix their mistakes from the previous round right now, right here. And we're seeing the same sort of little soft roam from Oracle, with Aspire being in that office area once again, but Unknown deciding that they want to take top floor control now. But as I say, we have a little refrag and bloodbath in the start of the first 30 seconds. The aggression is coming out from both teams now. Oracle is starting to realize that's how this series is gonna go. We've seen it on both maps now. 3v3 with 2 minutes left. I don't think I've seen this much aggression from a siege match in quite a while.
It had to be coastline, but it the trades are most definitely working in Oracle's favor. We haven't seen this in quite a while when Team Unknown have been winning their rounds. When Team Unknown get the picks, there's almost no immediate trade back from Oracle. So this looks a lot more favorable. I wouldn't say favorable, but it's a lot more possible to win this round because they are trading each other out. They're in positions to trade each other out. Whereas before, they weren't really. I'm talking about in the last round where Aspire was in office and he had nobody there to support him. Nobody in Aqua, nobody in Billiards. RH does get a pick. There is no immediate trade from Oracle, but I mean, they do still have 2 players alive. They have the smoke, they have the mute. The mute does have a nitro, so the smoke does have 2 grenade canisters. I mean, not grenade canisters. And he also has a Mossberg to get this. Yeah, any day of the week he is. fight, and he does. This is a 2v2 man situation between both teams. You have demolished on such low HP, but there goes a kill in RH's favor. He's playing so well in this
Oh,
map, but he's not playing good
Attackers
enough.
drop the diffuser.
Ducky, and Ducky
wow.
does get the kill, the very last kill with smoke grenade. Had to the smoke to clutch out the 1v2.
Great stuff there from the smoke to win out that 1v2 just based on time and use of canisters for sure. And I think we saw a lot more fundamentals that time around from Oracle. When Oracle gets Team Unknown to play the siege that they want to play, it looks like and seems like at least that Oracle does win those rounds. But when Oracle allow Unknown to be aggressive and get those first initial picks, I mean, I guess we've seen it um quite a while where Unknown does get the first initial pick. There it was kind of different in the
Defenders,
sense
protect
that
your bombs
Oracle
from being
stopped
defused
them
by attackers.
regardless. But here nor there, it was a good
Attackers have located a bomb.
strat from Oracle at least, or at least trying to stop Unknown in their tracks for the most part, because it seems like a difficult chore to do. I definitely wouldn't want to be playing Team Unknown right now or Team Oracle at this point. I mean, they're just looking. Both teams are looking really good. It's 3-2. They're deciding to go back downstairs. They're really liking the
10 seconds to
downstairs
go.
so far in terms of the defense. Seeing Kitchen once again.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, also I do want to give props. I think Unknown, yeah, I did catch that match against LFO that Unknown was playing when they did get 7-0 Clubhouse. They've seemed to have changed a lot from what I've noticed, and not really changed a lot, but they've improved on so much because these attacking rounds, when they have won them, look very, very strong. But Oracle are making their fight back on the defense, and I mean, defense has such a hard time on the coastline, even with the rework. Despite statistics being a little bit more favorable for both attack and defense, it's still attackers sided. But I mean, first pick does go Oracle's way. That's the first pick that we've seen that we haven't really seen in a while
Wow.
from Team Oracle, and it's on to RH. RH has been like really, really good for Team Unknown on that entry roll, and Thumbs almost gets caught out. There goes a couple of missed shots from Fine, and he escapes from that with his life, and also still Aspire is able to, well, he's not able to do anything because he's down to flashy red HP that's around 25 or 20 or so, and he can't. I feel like if he takes another gunfight, he's most likely going to die, especially against the hard-hitting guns of Team Unknown on their attacks. A minute and 55 left to go though, and I mean, Aspire, he does end up getting a kill on an unsuspecting unknown player, and that's Fallen to go down, making this a 4v3 man advantage for Oracle Esports. It looks like, from what I'm seeing from Oracle Esports, they are going to retreat downstairs and support the
Bomb
only player
located
that's
by
playing on
attackers.
site, because Team Unknown do have control of this top floor, and there's really nothing that Oracle can do. They don't want to waste more bodies. They don't want to give up easy pickings to Team Unknown. They want to wait for Team Unknown to come to them. And if that's the case, that's when the defense ends up having such an advantage going in their favor. When the attackers go into them, when the attackers has to come to the defenders, 9 times out of 10 the defenders will win those gunfights. But at the moment, you do see these vertical angles being established from the Buck player. He is alive, he's not dead, and I mean that's good for Team Unknown. But he doesn't have any hard breach utility. Can't really do any hard breaching, which I mean it's not that big of a deal because it's coastline. You don't need to do a lot of hard breaching anyways, especially not on the service sites.
Definitely, he gets these vertical lines of sight open as you see, demolish, spots out a player, gets the Z ping where he's hiding. It's that little pig spot. I'm pretty sure he's moved by now, hopefully, but Tums off screen gets a pick, and now it's 3v3 with 30 seconds left. Unknown really had to think about trying to push the site, as we see here with Tums, but no, he doesn't look behind him, and Ducky gets an easy kill onto Tums, and that just makes it really easy for the defenders so far, with only 15 seconds left now, but 2v2 with a nice little shot from vertically from the Buck. But 10 seconds, they have to get the plant down, and Buck's not even in sight yet. He's going to skeleton leave this window open and try and plant. He gets a kill doing it. He has to plant triple zeros. Can Blakey get the kill from above? And he does! Using the Buck skeleton vertical angles to his advantage and getting the kill. Wow.
That's that is the downside of having. I wouldn't even say that's the downside of having a buck on your team. I would say that's the downside. Well, yeah, it actually is the case of you having to be the buck to go plant, and then you have
Mhm.
nobody assisting you on the vertical angles, because then if it's easy for a defender to retake the top floor and use the vertical angles in his or her advantage, depending on which gendered operator you do pick. And it's just it was a good clutch from Fallen. It was a good recognition from him to not really take the gunfights. He knew what the timer was, and he knew how much
Attackers
time
need to locate
Unknown
and
had,
defuse as
and
many
they
bombs
had
as they
none
can.
at all because it was a 0-0.
Mhm.
And he was able, again, like I said, to retake those vertical angles and use them to his favor. So now, I mean, it's 3-3. Oracle Esports, I
Bomb
mean, are
located
in
by
a good
attackers.
spot at the moment. They are on the attack, on their attacking half at the moment. We did switch up the the sides for both teams, so they are on attack on a clubhouse, and it's 3-3 for them. So they could take the map on their attacking half, or we could see Unknown shock them on their defenses. Because I said it before Unknown, this is looking a
10
lot
seconds
better
to
than what we
insertion.
saw from them
Yeah.
last week against LFO, where they got 7-0, they got thrashed.
5 seconds left
Whereas for
before
Oracle
insertion.
last week, they got 8-7. And I
Attackers are
want to
moving to
see what
defuse a
type of
bomb.
changes we can that Team Unknown have in store for us on their defensive. I want to see what improvements they've made here and what they've changed so far, because they let Coastline pass. And I want to see what they've worked on so far.
We're gonna see it right now as the attackers are spawned in. They're ready to go. They already have initial control in this office area, as you touched on, a pivotal and easy place for the attackers just to gain slight control. But RH, right here, next to them, in the security office with a cheeky little angle through the metal cage there. And he's the vigil, so he won't be able to really get spotted out. And off screen, we see a pick onto Demolish, and that's a 4v5, 3v5, as there's another pick. Blakey gets the pick onto Vigil. That's so unfortunate. RH just chooses the wrong time to come out and try and flank them.
Out from 3-3-2-1, and then your whole roam game is gone. And I mean, you can count the three on that one, because that kill came
A
in
bomb has been
just
located.
as much of a speed of fashion as the first two came in. That's, I think, Thumbs or Demolished out of the picture. Can't remember which player it was, but it's a 2v5. I'm not confused about that. And it's only two players alive for Team Unknown. It's Fallen and Bombarchi. You see Bombarchi in the hallway, and you see Fallen in the middle of the site. He reactivates his Aruni gate while he's getting shot at, and he also has a buck from below, but he's moved off of that site. He's going to be playing in this hallway. So, I mean, the only way that Oracle Esports can directly take a gunfight with him is if they head up Cool Vibe stairs. But they don't even need to take a gunfight against Bombarchi, because he's down. There goes a kill going Fallen's way, but then two kills going Team Oracle way, as I'm getting their names confused. And it's a round for Team Oracle. They lead 4-3 on their attacking half, and I mean, it's not surprising, because at the end of the day, Coastline is an attacker-sided map. Even despite the statistics kind of making it more even between the two sides, Coastline will always be known as an attacker-sided map. Attackers will almost always have the advantage on their attacks, because Coastline is a very small map. The defenders have nowhere else to move. Almost even without droning, you can expect where the defenders are. And
Yeah.
that's the hardest part of it all for the defenders on Coastline.
Attackers need to locate and
I
defuse
would
bombs.
definitely agree with you, but I mean, it seems like a back and forth affair, at least in terms of this map or match, sorry, that we're watching right now. But it does seem more attacker favored, even though it's like a back and forth between one. I don't think there's been a round where maybe the first two actually, when Unknown were on their attacks and they won two attacking rounds in a row. But then after that, it was kind of just one team won,
10
and
seconds
then
to
and
insertion.
the other team won next. And I like this little bulletproof
5
cam
seconds to
setup
go.
Is that a
there on
heart?
the half wall. And kind of looks like a heart. We'll say that. Oh,
Attackers' objective is to locate
love
a
you
bomb and
too,
defuse it.
Fallen.
I don't know if he intended for that to be a heart. That'd be pretty funny if he did. I don't know, but
I hope so. It looks like a heart. I'll take it. It's a heart. He loves all of us. Let's get some hearts in the chat.
That is so weird. I was, I don't know if I don't know if he meant that or not. I don't want to assume something that's not there. I don't want to assume a connection between us and Fallen. Oh gosh, but Chaotix all the way inside the office site. It's RH though to get the first pick onto the vine. Sophia did. Although the Sophia is a very crucial operator on any map, she is not the most important operator in this lineup to get picked off because you have another LMG that's Blakey on the LMG for Finka. And you also have your Buck still alive, even though he's tagged a little bit, and also your Habana. The Habana pick being a little bit weird to me, but
Oh,
I see the wisdom in it, and I also see the wisdom in that swing. Blakey getting another pick,
Attackers have
well, the
located a
trade
bomb.
onto RH, and that was the first player to get a pick onto the Vine, so he helps his buddy out, and it's now 4v4 between both of these teams.
yeah, minute 40 left, so it's just about time where things are gonna just kind of quiet down for a little bit, as the attackers already got their first initial pick, but it is a 4v4, so they just want to make sure that they're gonna execute the correct attack, and they want to push from the side that they feel most comfortable that they can get a plant off, as the execution has to come sooner rather than later with almost a minute left. We do have some roamers, a
Attackers
defender
dropped the
all up
diffuser.
top, two defenders up top,
Attackers
two in
recovered the
sight. That
diffuser.
that doesn't bode well. We've seen that in Clubhouse where they leave two defenders on site and it doesn't work just because the attackers nip it out sometimes and can easily just stack the site. But no, Tums up top, they've spotted him. And Chaotic takes him down, 3v4, 50 seconds left, and I think it's time to try and get some vertical control possibly to help assist with the vertical plant, but smoke canisters coming out to prevent Ducky from trying to get into this kitchen window. The Rooney knows the location, 2v4 as another pick gets off screen, but I'm jumbling my words and the bloodbath ensues, and there we go, attackers get the round.
Yeah, that was a 4v4 until Thumbs died, and then it just pummeled into absolute destruction from Oracle Esports. Like you said, it wasn't really a good idea to only have two players on site, and then you have your two other players playing on the top floor. The main reason why I say this is because they weren't really right next to each other. So Thumbs dies, and he doesn't have any trade value to him. Also, like I said, he's by himself in VIP. Once the intel is there for the attacking team, the Buck was there, he was flashing him, he was shooting at him. It's very easy for the attacking team to isolate that lone player playing in
Attackers need to
VIP.
locate and
And now
defuse
they
the
have to
bomb.
worry about, well, the other three players. They don't know where Mozzie is. They didn't know he was lonely. But they do know that the lone player in theater is all by himself. And that there's nobody there to support him. It's easy pickings for them. And in that situation, when it's a small map like Coastline, it's so attacker sided, they're gonna get map control either way. You have to it's okay to give the attackers map control. Sometimes it does work out if you play aggressive and you don't give them as much map control as possible. But on Coastline, it's better for you to just give
Attackers have located a
map
bomb.
control up early, and
5
then when
seconds
it's
to go.
time to retake those positions, you strike back at them because attackers won't expect.
Attackers are heading
Some
out to
9 times
defuse
out of
the
10,
bomb.
some attackers won't really expect the retake. Sometimes, sometimes they won't expect the retake happening from the defenders, and you may be able to catch them off guard. But if you're playing in those very exposed positions, it doesn't bode well for you because again, you can just get isolated so quickly, especially if the attacking team is working so well together. And in that sense, I mean, Oracle didn't even have to work together. Thumbs runs right into the middle of VIP, and he's exposed for like 10 seconds, and he's dead because of it.
Yeah, definitely. A crazy round, and Oracle wins it out 5-3 so far. We're into the next round, and they decide to go to the house theater site that you were touching on, and that's just. I mean, I'm not too sure. Oh, but as I'm trying to theory craft, there's a nade from below from a spire, and they're getting the or the wall off as well from that nade. So a bit of 2-for-1 for some utility, and Aspire gets another kill onto the dock of Fallen, and now it's a 3v5, definitely attacker sided. And I just want to touch on it. We've yet to see an unknown
Bomb located by
defensive
attackers.
sided win,
Yeah,
and I don't think we're gonna see it right now as Aspire gets another kill, and it's 2v5 with a minute 30 left. And Smoke has all of his canisters, just to note, and RH is still alive, so we'll see if they have anything to say about this round. But he's already on low HP, trying to throw a smoke canister through the doorway when he has a soft wall open to throw it in cover. So interesting. Pika boost, and there's a flawless round from Oracle, and it's 6-3.
yeah, that I didn't see that at first, but yeah, that's an interesting point for you to highlight, is the fact that he opted to kind of expose his whole body to
Yeah.
just throw that smoke grenade instead of just going behind cover where they can't necessarily see you.
Hmm.
Also, he was just kind of like, the smoke looked a little bit, I wouldn't say lost, but
He
he
was
just didn't.
frazzled.
He was frazzled because he was like going in and out of cover when
Hmm.
he didn't need to. He could just play a little bit more as
Yeah.
smoke, especially even if you are a couple of, they did have, or two before, I can't
Right.
remember. Like, you don't want to, as a smoke player, you
Attackers need to
want to be
locate and
as
defuse
composed
bomb.
as possible in those type of situations to bring it back for your team. Your whole job is to do riot control, and when we think of riot control, we think of like somebody very composed, somebody who doesn't crack under pressure when they're being pushed and they're being pressed. In that situation, he wasn't really composed, and he did a lot of
Bomb located
Yeah.
by
wing
attackers.
and exposed himself. Like I said, when he did that, it
Right.
wasn't his fault necessarily though, because I mean they were
10
already
seconds
like
to
several
insertion.
men down with like 50 or 30 seconds to go. But that's just kind of like my little
5
gripe
seconds
with
left.
that situation. Again, necessarily not his fault, because his team were the ones to
Attackers are
get
heading
picked off
out to
of site
defuse a
very
bomb.
early on, with no repercussions, with no like trades going in Team Unknown's favor. It was just all Oracle across the whole scoreboard and nothing else.
Yeah, agreed. You can't really put it on to Demolish if it was Demolish. I'll just say it was because he has smoked this round. Um, just because it was a 2v5. 2v5s are really tough, but I do agree Smoke is that operator where you want someone that does not crack under pressure and possibly get
Oh my
things back
god.
into their favor. And RH gets a nice little cheeky kill through a soft wall from security to that window on blue bar, and bloodbaths are ensuing. That was another freaking good angle that we just saw from a Rooney from up top, vertical angles. And I don't know if Ducky was AFK or what he's doing, but he's running around um the ruins, figuring out, hey guys, what's going on? We already have 3 dead. Well, that's crazy. And Aspire's here in the Sunrise Bar saying the same thing. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. What to do with
Yeah,
a
they
minute
don't.
50 left? I don't know.
I was gonna say, they don't really know what to do here. I mean, Aspire does get a kill onto Demolish, that is your spoke player. Down in this three now. Well, what was it, 4v2? Now it's 3v2. For Team Unknown, they do have the advantage still here. The only two players that are alive, the only two is this Ayana and Habana. The Habana, well, I would say if she were to go on roof, she could get this billiards wall that faces courtyard, but I don't think she wants to do that. She already has, well, she's already on this hookah bout. And then also Aspire does have two
Attackers drop
nades,
the
so he
diffuser.
could get a pick onto any players playing in sight, but the fact of the matter is that none of them are. And he is gonna use his nades for that. He is just gonna, well, prep this nade for behind the couch. Okay, he doesn't. He's going to do it now, and he does get it.
Oh,
But it's not behind the couch. It's right at the wall that's sight. So now he's
wow.
gonna take two hookah bout in order to pick up his fallen teammate. But
Attackers
you
recovered
see,
the diffuser.
well, after the Rooney does die, you see both of these. You see actually R8 retake the position of where Fallen was. Well, not directly. He's pushed farther back, but he's in that general vicinity. And now the only player watching is Hookah run-in is actually going to be the bandit behind the shield. He does throw a nitro cell out. I think he does do a little bit of chip damage. RH, well, now retaking the position of Fallen, has gotten a kill onto Ducky. It's a good round from RH and a much needed round for Team Unknown because it was looking so dire for them on this defense. It wasn't looking too good for them. It looked like Oracle was in the lead for well, it looked like Oracle had the momentum for most of their attacks.
Right.
Now, Team Unknown has interrupted that momentum.
Oh, most definitely. Good on Oracle to try and bring it back, though. I mean, at the end of the day, it was like a 2v2 going in to try and execute. I mean, the Unknown just really had good angles to be watching, and Oracle didn't really have any other options but to like rush into hookah and try and make a play. But just in terms of like
Attackers
having
need to
that
locate and
composure, just
defuse
saying, you know
enemy
what,
bombs
this
as they
round
can.
isn't over. We have time. We can work around it. We can try and see what we can do with
Attackers have
just two
discovered the
players
location
alive.
of a
So,
bomb.
I mean, uh, credit to where credit is due, and that's some good credit I can give to Oracle with that round. And they're still on match point. Team Unknown has some work to do with 2 rounds to go before we hit that overtime. But are we gonna see the overtime? I really think we're gonna see the overtime.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm begging Oracle to just take it right now. I've had in
5
the
seconds
past
to go.
best of three where we casted 3 maps in a row, two of them
Attackers'
going into
objective is to
overtime
defuse
back
a
to back.
bomb.
And I don't think I'm prepared for it now. It's looking very spicy. It's very entertaining to watch both of these teams play against each other. It has been a very entertaining series so far. But I don't think um I don't think my brain can handle so many rounds in such in quick succession and I don't, I hope not. I think Oracle could take this round, but if again, Team Unknown did interrupt their momentum, so we could see a switch here in terms of how these remaining 2 rounds play if we end up getting to the 2 rounds that I'm talking about. I mean, here goes one of them, and they are setting up for a service push. The only player playing in this site is going to be Fallen. I think he does have support. Actually, he does have support in his lobby position from Unknown. I mean, not Unknown. Sorry, that's the org from Thumbs to the right, well, to
Oh
the
my.
hard left of the main door, and he's prone. He's a sneaky snake in a sneaky position. But
So we
again,
got
it's just
two.
them trading fire between each other. It's not any direct gunfights
Yeah.
being taken between either one of these teams, apart from that one. RH getting the first.
And that works out for Team Unknown with the first pick being a minute 40 into the round. RH looking for the second one. He kind of fell off, but just rotated to the other door that gets you into this mudroom area, going into Sunrise. Doesn't know where Vigil really is, but Vigil's getting some Z pings and intel on that. There's another attacker though in blue. They could pinch Vigil out and try and get that kill. It might just happen. Aspire spots Vigil and gets him by himself. Good pick. 4v4. Minute left. They still have time to execute. And
No.
Ducky just sitting around waiting gets one of Tums. I think he got just complacent. He was like, I'm tired of being a stinky snake. I want to rotate back to site. And Ducky was waiting. Or I don't know what the Mozzie was looking at one. Didn't get the shots off. And Frost is off the board as well with 48 seconds left. Fallen, the last one alive, trying to clutch it out for his team. It does look like a match point win though for Oracle. The bomb is down and there it is. We're going to a decider map. There is no overtime. Oracle take this one 7-4. Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good map from Oracle. They didn't go to overtime on their own map, and they looked, for the most part, on their attacks. They look very, very strong on coastline, which isn't hard to do at all. Anybody can look strong on their attacks. You could be the worst attacking team in the whole world of Siege, but really, really good on your attacks on coastline. But all in all, on their defenses, there were some like blips that they did have, but they had a good defensive half. They also had a good attacking half. That's how they won the home map in general. And almost everything on their attacks were just going their way. There were a lot of, uh, just like how there were weird mistakes from them on their defenses, there were a lot of mistakes from unknown that we didn't, despite them kind of choking a 6-2 lead, we didn't really see that on Coastline. I mean, on Clubhouse. There were a lot of weird mistakes that I saw. A lot of like players playing in isolation. No, again, no trade value, like I've highlighted so many times in this match. I don't want to highlight the utility usage on Coastline because for Coastline, it's not really about the util, it's about the gunfights. And a lot of the times when Oracle were getting into gunfights with Team Unknown, a lot of the players that got into those gunfights were isolated. And again, no trade value. They couldn't do anything. They didn't have nobody to immediately trade them out. If a trade did come, it came later on when Oracle already had such a dominant man advantage going in their favor, and it was a lot better from watching Simon on Coastline compared to last week, but they did lose it against Oracle Esports.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but hey, it's 1-1, and
Yeah.
we have a decider map for a reason, and I'm excited to get into it. We all know Talent League's favorite map is Oregon, and we're gonna get to it soon. We're gonna take a 10-minute break, and we will be with our last map this match. Hello, and we are back for our last map of this series, the lower bracket final between Unknown and Oracle Esports is underway, and it's the last map. The last map being our favorite. It is Oregon. Oregon's just the best map. I swear, it's the
That's
greatest.
sarcasm.
Yeah, it is very much so. We all we all have a little place in our heart where we're just like, we don't want Oregon, but here it is as the decider, and so we just, it's I'm ready, and I want to see who comes out on top. If you missed the last two maps, well, they were pretty good. Clubhouse goes the way of Unknown, and Coastline goes the way of Oracle. And teams really counter each other very well in terms of like, I don't know who's going to win this last match. I just want a really good Oregon map. I want to see what both teams have in store for us, and I just want to see who wins. Who's the better team here, because I really don't know. I mean, on paper it looked like Oracle was the better team. Watching the matches, they look kind of similar. Unknown looks a little bit better than Oracle, just in the slightest, but I'm not too sure. We're gonna see. We're gonna hop into this Oregon here very shortly, and we're gonna get this map ban underway. 1B, do you feel the same way about this match?
Just confused. That's all. After the first two maps, I was like, I don't really know what to expect. If you guys don't know, this is the first time in Titan series where we've gone all the way in a best of three. This is the first time where we are going to a third map. The matches that have been played so far in Titan series have only been 2-0s. This is the first time where again we're going to a third map. And I wasn't really on Clubhouse. I was very shocked at how Unknown played for most of it. We saw a good comeback from Oracle. Yingban on Oregon is the first one to happen, and it's just it's been a roller coaster. Coastline was a little bit more straightforward with this, or that was Oracle map, and they won it very comfortably, especially in race, which should be a huge boost to confidence because after Clubhouse, like I said, I felt like Unknown should have been a little bit more disappointed in themselves. And it was a better map from them on Coastline than what we saw from them last week, but it wasn't good enough. Thatcher is the second ban to be followed up by the Ying ban, and that's the first time we've seen Thatcher ban today. So, clap. There we go.
It seems kind of correct to ban the Thatcher on Oregon for some reason. I don't know why that is. I don't know what it is about Oregon that speaks to me that says Thatcher is a good ban here. I'm just in terms of like, I think Maverick might be a better ban, but that's just me. But we see Valkyrie
But
get taken
Forest.
off. Yeah, and the Cage for the
Another
last ban.
I was gonna say if Thatcher wasn't gonna be banned, I'm sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
you're
I
good.
would
Go
have
for it.
expected to see a Flores ban. Flores has found himself in the
Alright.
meta a lot of time, and especially he's very very important for like if he's on the board, he's very very important for like the elbow push on the basement site, especially for removing that elbow shield, destroying the ADSs along with the shield, all with one drone, and it's just he brings so much to the table. And at first, when he first came out, a lot of people didn't think he would fit so much into PL's into a lot of comp teams lineups. And here he is, one of the most played attackers in comp, and one of the biggest I want to say meta changes when it comes to the attacking lineups. Uh, Especially since Thatcher has been a lot, he's become like a more explosive Thatcher.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Attackers need to
Haha,
I
locate
mean,
and
I like that
defuse
pun.
bombs.
yeah. First site you do go to is the second floor pit drone. And I'm seeing a bandit pit. The Kaid is banned, I get it, and a mute isn't as effective as he once was, so a bandit makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty sure he's placing his bandits on this game's wall, and he's also going to be placing his bandits on this attic wall as well, which again makes a lot of sense because the main thing with bandit batteries is that he's there to deny hard breachers easy access into and around the sites.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's just gonna help out with in terms
Attackers
of like
objective is to defuse the
wasting
bomb.
utility, I guess, like the blowtorch of Maverick and possibly a nade or two, or maybe a Sophia charge from below. There's multiple ways you can deal with those bandit batteries on that wall in Master. As I speak of, Aspire gets a really quick pick onto Demolish the bandit that we were speaking of. I think they had a set and forget strat. If you don't know what that strat is, that is putting down your utility and going and roaming. And Bandit does a really good job at that. You can just kind of set his bandit batteries down where your team needs, and you can go and try and roam and get that first initial pick. Didn't work out for Demolish there. Thumbs on the roam as well. Gets spotted out on that white stairway towards Freezer's side, but it's going to rotate all the way around towards the tower. And off screen, Aspire gets taken down. Um, with the alibi shotgun, slug rounds, let's go. That's pretty cool. I don't know how far away it was, because, I mean, I know you can shoot pretty far with those slug rounds.
Yeah, especially if you have that 2.0 sight, but she has a
Hmm.
holographic. So I think, yeah, with the blood spatters and with how close she
Attackers
was
have
in kitchen, I
located a
think
bomb.
she was very close to him, and she was just able, even from close range, despite slug rounds kind of being used for like distance, well, more ranged shotguns, if I can say that, that's the perfect word
Yeah.
for it. Um, they can still do a lot of damage in close. Fallen is going to follow that up with the kill onto the Vine, making this round for Unknown a little bit better for them. There goes Fallen again on the pistol. RH is dead elsewhere by Blakey, and it's a 3v2 as we come into a minute and 15 left to go. Well, you see the two remaining Oracle players. They're all the way in. No, okay, not anymore. Blakey's dead from that alibi shotgun. It could be another from. It's a 2v1 now, as Chaotic is the sledge player. He does have a nade, he does use one, and he does have another nade, so he can use another. That nade doesn't hit anyone because he didn't cook it long enough for them to, well, not react. There goes another nade, and it does hit Fallen. That's all the way in kids. I think he's actually in attic. I can't see his outline. I'm not too sure he is. Nope, he's still inside. He's behind the bomb chastity, and he actually does have control of the diffuser as well. And there goes Fallen to get a kill. I was gonna say, I didn't know where they probably swung at the same time as one another. That's how he got that kill. Actually, he was
Yep.
so deep right behind that bug, so I don't think Thumbs would have gotten a kill anyways. It was just
Yeah.
Fallen to get his feetsies.
Yeah, he was just like, ready, let's count to three and swing at the same time. 1, 2, 3, done. And Team Unknown get their first round. They are starting on the defense. They went top floor. That was a really good hold from them. I mean, Oracle really did a good job in trying to. Oh, and I'm lost for words because I saw a sneaky little Cavi 6 pick and I got excited, but we're not going to see any interrogations this time around. But yeah, as I was saying, Oracle did a good
Attackers
job
need to
in trying
locate
to
and
like
defuse
go for
bomb.
that execute. It really was when they left the bomb down in the middle of the site and the defenders had control of that bomb. That's really when the round was just kind of over. All they really had to do was hold those angles and wait to swing at the same time as we saw. And now we're going to the bottom floor. And, you know, so this is probably the two most popular sites on this map, the top floor, small and big bunk, and the bottom floor here that we're seeing now. And we're seeing a really implemented smoke strat that we've seen for a couple seasons now,
5 seconds
where
to
you
go.
open that rotate, you throw on a shield, you throw some ADSs, and
Attackers
you
objective is
want
to
someone
locate
to
a
sit
bomb
there
and
and play
defuse
there
it.
and have that extended hold on that elbow tarp side of the map, just because it's so easy for the attackers just to go in there and get the breach off. But we're seeing a freezer take here, so they're just going to take this small tower side Oracle, and they're going to try and get possibly the freezer hatch, go down these freezer stairs, and make that sort of push to start with and gain map control, and they're doing a really good job of that. Look at all this map control they have. They're going for intel now, and they're gonna spot out Thumbs. He's there on the white stairs. I think he's gonna fall off now. No, just knowing that he's just trying to waste time. Falls off just a little bit back down freezer. Nothing really else going on. Aspire getting towards that meeting hall way, probably trying to get that meeting hatch. I think they just want to try and open up all those avenues. And the Aruni was roaming somewhere. Good spot from Team Oracle. Blakey gets that kill. They're in attic. They're trying to spot out more roamers. I don't think they're gonna find any more roamers though. But as I was saying, I think they're just gonna try and open all avenues to try and get down to this bottom floor. You see that soft hatch. They're probably gonna blow that up. They're probably gonna blow up the meeting hatch. They're gonna just try and open up their options for execute. And that first pick onto that Aruni is really gonna help them out. Try and solidify a way they want to get this bomb down. Just in terms of man advantage, it's much easier to get the bomb down 4v5 than 5v5.
The truth. So I can't tell you how many times I've seen a 5v5 man,
Yeah.
a 5v5 between both teams is even man count, and a plant go down, and all 5 players have like no clue. Despite them having like Valkyries, they'll have a Maestro
Yeah.
on the court, just like what Unknown have right now. The Maestro playing in pillars, and right now I'm not too sure. They've seemed to slow down Oracle. They've gotten the first pick going in their favor. It's taking them a bit of time to break down this site control that Team Unknown do have. I mean, you do get the first roamer. It's very hard to break down this site regardless, and it will take a couple of seconds. Right now, they do have 40 seconds up to go. They're going to bypass the shield. There goes the flash grenade to push him out of that position. And what do you know? The main reason why they leave this wall soft is to reinforce it later, so that they don't have a free push into the elbow. But they do have a free kill. It's Blakey, followed up by Aspire, grabbing a triple kill on the round for Aspire. There goes a team kill going their way. Chaotic does get a kill to make up for that team. It wasn't him. And there goes Blakey to follow up to win a round for Team Oracle as they claim their first attacking round of this half. And I mean, it was a good one. Despite the time running out, it was against them for most of it. They still made a lot of work happen with what little time they did have. The main thing about that round at the end of it was the gunfights. They won their gunfights despite, again, time not being in their favor. They didn't kill the player playing an elbow. He moved off of that, and he was able to reinforce the elbow wall. But they got the player playing in pillars. They got control of pillars. They then killed the other player that was playing in that little side box room next to the B bomb site. And then they were able to just move into site, take control of it, and then they were able to get the remaining picks without getting the bomb down. But we do see a new site. This isn't too uncommon. We do see teams go here sometimes, but it's usually not the favorite site by defenders, and there's plenty of reasons. I don't like the site at all. I don't really like the site at all. And the main reason why is because, well, first of all, small tower is such a pivotal part to the site, and usually attackers will gain control of it within the first 20 seconds because it's right next to the site. Defenders cannot anchor in that area, nor can they really deny the attackers direct control of it. Once they grab control of small tower, I mean, they can do this, which is interesting. They have 2 ADSs set up in there, or actually 3 ADSs, one right next to the window, 2 set up right next to the doorway, and they also have 2 frost traps. So I mean, this could work, but I want to see. I don't know if it will work for long. I feel like Team Oracle or Oracle Esports are a much smarter team than this, and when they do drone out, they drone out very well. That's how a lot of the times when Team Unknown, or when they do roam, they get caught out so easily because the Oracle are droning very well, and they're playing as a team. They play as a team so well. If I explain that right.
No,
Yeah.
they do play like very methodically together. I mean, this is the first time I've really seen methodical play in this series, and it took Oregon to really see it. I
Oh
mean,
no.
Clubhouse a little bit.
God.
Oh, and Thumbs is there. Is he gonna get the second? Oh, he's trying to get the second. Didn't really get any shots onto that player of Divine. He falls off very happy that he's just above 50 HP and got the first kill onto Oracle, but there's a late refrag onto RH from Blakey. So evened up 4-4, minute 45 left. I
Oh
think
no, Nitro!
oh my, what a great nitro through the little small vertical angles that they're looking through from up top. Getting some X Kairos off,
Bomb
getting the
located by
hatch
attackers.
done and dusted, getting these vertical angles to try and find out where these unknown players are hiding for this site. Thumbs on this white hatch. There's a frost map that might be caught out. It might not be. We might see a frost map kill. We'll just have to wait and see with the minute to go. Little bit of a standstill as Oracle's just trying to get more intel and more ability to open up that map, as we heard those X Kairos go off somewhere. So they must have opened something up. Sledge is unaware. And what? Ella gets two for the price of just swinging on top. Sledge unaware as he's getting those vertical angles. Unfortunate they don't have any flank drones, and just like that, Unknown get another 2 kills. What happened there?
You know what I said. You know what? I take back what I said about them being a good team together as a team, because that wasn't the case there. If they had drawn out Big Tower as well as they've done on Clubhouse and on Coastline, that kill from the Jaeger wouldn't have happened. They would have been more prepared from it. I don't even know. I wouldn't. I don't want to say actually. Yeah, I don't know why they put Big Tower. Really, I don't. I just don't get that push at all. I didn't understand it for a lot of reasons. There's plenty of other pushes you could do. They didn't drone it out clearly enough because the Jaeger was
Attackers need to
in
locate
Big
and
Tower
defuse
for
bombs.
most of that. For a lot of that round when he got the first hit, and then after that they just didn't care where he went after. They had a clue, but clearly they didn't know that he was in there in the first place. Better droning would help in that situation, but again they didn't do that. They didn't drone at all. So and then no, you said it, you highlighted it before, but no flank drone watching the stairs push coming from the Ella, and
10
that's how
seconds
she
to
was able to get
insertion.
those picks. The second pick from her was a lucky headshot.
Five
I
seconds
was
to
just
go.
to put that out there. It was a lucky headshot. But the first pick on the sledge, she was gonna
Attackers'
get that kill
objective is to
any day of the
locate a
week because
bomb
the
and
sledge
defuse
wasn't
it.
even looking at her. Why? Because they didn't know she was coming up there.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know she had because they didn't have a flank drone up there. Even if you do have a flank drone up there, and you have a dead teammate watching, and they can tell you that it gives if that drone is destroyed, it gives you a clue that a player is walking up there, that a player is in that exact area. Because again, that drone was there, it got destroyed by who? A defender. It wouldn't be your own teammate. But hey, look, a kill going. RH is
Oh
actually
my god,
two,
2
and
kills.
it's careless play from Oracle Esports. But Coyote does get a trade, a very late one, and I mean they still have the man advantage going in the way of Team Unknown. Just again,
Oh
very careless movement from Esports, and it cost them two players, two crucial operators, the Sophia and the Bug.
yeah, most definitely. And with 2 minutes to go, 4v3, I think Unknown's sitting pretty here. The attackers really just needed to gain more map control, and Ducky through the softball gets RH. Little bit of a late refrag, but now it's 3v3. They still have ample time to try and attack this site here. The site being top floor bunks. And I think this is the stall out, trying to gain more information as it is a 3v3. All defenders are in sight, as we know, but obviously the attackers don't know.
A
They're going to
bomb has
open
been
up this
located.
window, the big window, into this big bunk area. They're going to try and nade from below. It's
Ooh,
Divine. Going
Bomb
to find this
located by
player. Ooh,
attackers.
takes a little bit of HP from Fallen, but not enough to kill him at all. Just a little sliver. Fallen lives to see another minute of the round, potentially, as there's 2 players on this side of the map. 3 players. They're going to try for another nade from below. Is this one going to hit? No, it hits no one. They have to push up this white stairs and go through the big window on this big bunk area. we're gonna see the execute soon. It has to happen because all the defenders have to do are hold these angles for another 50 seconds and wait for the push to happen. Bandit flashed out, getting
Get it
naded.
out.
What a great nade and flash execute is going down to B3 bomb. Almost 50. It's 30 now.
Attackers
36.
activating diffuser.
Unknown in the retake scenario. What's gonna happen? Alibi taken down. 1v3. Mav is down. Fallen in a clutch scenario. 30 seconds left to do it. He gets a headshot 1v1. Is he gonna do it? Last player outside of that window. He gets the
Defenders
Syria
have
gate.
eyes on the
He's gonna go for the
Attackers need to
defuse.
protect it.
He knows when someone's gonna try and push. Sledge.
You have
Is
to go.
Kyoto gonna get it? Oh my god! Pros don't fake! And what happens? Fallen gets it. Good stuff from Fallen. Unknown. Take the round. Unfortunate, Sledge. You need to push a bit quicker. Chaotic just didn't have the information or just was maybe concerned about something. I'm not sure what, but you have to protect that bomb.
Yeah, that was, even though it was a 1v3 clutch, sorry, a 1v3 situation for Fallen, uh, it was very possible that he was gonna clutch it regardless because of the fact that there was a player down, and then also one of them was like, one of the Habana actually, that was the one that got headshotted. She didn't get body, but she was most definitely down to like, I want to say 20-25 HP. So she was lit up. And
Attackers
even
need
the
to
Roni,
locate and
despite the
defuse
Roni
as
being a
many
pea
bombs
shooter,
as they
despite the
can.
Roni now having 16 bullets, it does enough damage to take down somebody with 25 HP. So it was very possible that she was gonna clutch out that round, but I didn't think it would be by a diffuser that she stuck while there was a player on a big window. You hear her defuse. Maybe you thought it was a bait, but clearly it wasn't a bait because after, like, you can hear it. There's like a ting or
Yeah.
like a sound that it makes the first time, and then if they stick it, you can tell because it makes it the second time when they're like halfway through. Once she was halfway through, you hear that second. You hear that second sound cue.
5
I
seconds
don't
left
know if he
before
heard it or
insertion.
not, but if he did, why didn't you push sooner?
Yeah.
Because
Attackers must
clearly she
locate
was
and
going to
defuse
stick
the
it.
bomb.
Yep, and she did a great job doing so, and that's really what won Unknown the round that time. And it's 3-1 now, and Unknown are going back to the bottom floor. They feel as if the last time that they defended this site didn't go very well. Oracle kind of wiped the floor with them, just pushing through, making it a clean, well, I wouldn't say clean and easy round, but it waited till the last 30 seconds. They had a really nice push and got the round win, and that's all has won round. So it might be another round win for Oracle this time around, making it 3-2. We'll see. It's just 2 minutes inside of the round. They're gaining intel. What I see from the defenders, I really like though. Mira, Maestro.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see on how that really plays out when Oracle gets into the actual execute.
Yeah, so far from Oracle, from what I've seen, they've just been. Ah, I don't like to use this term because I feel like it's a little bit rude, and I don't want to be rude to any of these teams. I like all of them. I like any team who plays within Talent League, any league that I cast in, because I get to cast you, and I like watching you guys play. But they've been dropping the ball on their attacks a little bit, especially in that last round. That was one player dropping the ball, and I don't like to blame one player because at the end of the day, it is a team game. But for me, Oracle just haven't been good enough on their attacks. And it's been Team Unknown. Every time Team Unknown look like they're beaten, they fight back, and Oracle just don't have a response to the counters that Team Unknown are putting up against them on Oregon, despite them having, faced the same thing on Clubhouse. But I mean, this is good for them. First pick going their way, Blakey on this LMG on Sophia. This grab from Barchi, who, to be fair, although he is 4-4, has had a decent Oregon game. He's been very disruptive in a lot of Oracle's plans, and he's been very influential on any operator he's played.
Attackers
So
recovered the
has
diffuser.
Fallen, who's actually 6-1. He's been influential on this smoke. I don't know why I forgot. And he does end up getting the trade onto Ducky. But I mean, you look at the HP advantage, and
Yeah.
Oracle most definitely does have that. Two of the unknown players are actually, well, pretty low in HP. Despite their HP not flashing red, it is very, very low. You see the vine through smoke, just the cloud division of the player playing elbow, and here comes the drop.
Oh,
But it's not to
oh my.
RH's disadvantage. He doesn't get thrown by it. And still, two actually. Oh no, he does. He doesn't even get two. He does get one. And there goes Blakey on the trade onto RH. Here comes some trades going. Again, when unknown are beat, or when it looks
Attackers bomb diffuser
that they
has
was
been
around,
dropped.
they end up coming out on top convincingly. There it goes, a 3v1, and it is finished off by Demolish on his Maestro L.
Yeah, just good hold from unknown. Oracle really only had one way of attacking, and that was through elbow tarp side. Um, it worked out the first time around, but I think it was a bit more lucky. I think they had more of a man advantage as well. That time around, it was completely different. It was a even man advantage going into that execute, and that's really not what you want as an attacker, especially on a defender-sided site, at least in the basement. I'm not sure what we're seeing so far out of Oregon. I mean, what we're seeing is basically a defender-sided map, but that's just dictated by unknowns.
Attackers need to
I wouldn't
locate
even
and
say
defuse
aggression. They've
bombs.
had aggression the last couple of maps, but this last one here, I haven't really seen that big aggression that we've seen before. Obviously, they're gonna have it regardless, but you know, there's a spectrum, there's a scale, and I feel like it's mild, and I'm ready to see what spicy looks like.
Yeah, ooh, RH on the Capkin. I'm liking the pick. I mean, for me, Oracle Esports' attacks haven't been
10
like too
seconds left
fast.
before insertion.
Especially when they do get the man advantage, like when they do get the very first
5
pick, they
seconds
kind of
left.
slow down. They kind of take their time,
Located a
and
bomb.
it's not like a bad thing. It's for them.
Attackers
A lot of
need to defuse the
attackers,
bomb.
even when they do get the first pick, when they do get like what a 2-man advantage, like a 5v3, like very early on in the round, they take their time to break down the map because Oregon is a very large map. You have to drone out a lot of the map to gain map control. Also, you have to worry about roamers. You have to worry about somebody on a lurking, flanking you or something like that. And then you also have to break down the site on top of that. So that does take a lot of this. Uh, and here comes a Flores pick. And okay, it's not gonna get anyone because he rushes right into the gun sights of Bombardier, who's playing in this position, and might be able to easily isolate him in this office area, in this small tower area. But again, he does have the support of these ADSs. He has that shield right behind him, and he does have the sound cues from the window breaking from Coyote. But again, if he rushes out of this position, he's gonna get caught out by these Oracle players. But
Most
I hope Oracle Esports don't waste so much time on this position. I mean, eventually they will have to worry about Bombardier at some point in the round. But I mean, there you go. Aspire does get a kill on in the actual site, or I think that was in bathrooms, but he gets the pick nonetheless, and that's Solo Lucy gone. Fallen has been one of their most deadly players. He's 7-2. That's a good pick for them.
Definitely, and I don't know. I still see a lot of utility being used in terms of trying to get this top floor, small tower area. Ella is just playing her life. She knows that she's gonna die. She's just wasting time. Here's the execute onto Ella, and she's dead. There was like two Flores drones, Zofia lifelines, and that's what it takes to get one player out of that small little area. But it happens, and now the attackers have the control of that area. But is it too late? It's a minute into the round. It is 3v4, so they do have the man advantage here. And Oracle is in desperate need of this round to make it 4-2 before the side swap. And I'm not sure what's gonna happen. We're gonna see Ducky open up this line of sight here towards the small tower area. Are they gonna find anyone? No. And Divine is just sitting in this bus hoping that someone's gonna cross his line of sight with 40 seconds left. That's not, ideal, but it is 4v2 with 40 seconds left. And now it's a 4v1, and it's looking like Oracle will take this round into the side swap for defense as the plant's going down. Demolish doesn't spot the one laying down, and Oracle does get another round on the board. 4-2. Good stuff, and they're going on to the defensive side here. So we'll see if they can gain the momentum that they did from winning that round into the defense.
A good attacking ground from Oracle Esports. They were able. I mean, it's like you said. It was looking like. Well, actually, it wasn't really looking like they were running out of time necessarily. A lot of the times in Oregon, it's very common for attackers to attack in the last 30 seconds or so. And I mean, we have moved past the 20-second meta, but if you played on Oregon, you wouldn't really think that because, again, a lot of teams tend to attack within the last 30 seconds. They have
Yeah.
so much of the map to break down, they have so much to worry about, they have so many little
Attackers need to
pockets of
locate and
areas
defuse
to
bombs.
drone out in just to push certain parts of the map to take control of it. And it's that's I mean that's the thing about Oregon Attack. Again, it's just a huge map with a lot of pockets of space for the defenders to hide in. And I mean there are still some spots that I'm finding out to this day on this map, despite the rework being some time ago, that defenders can hide in, and it's crazy how flexible on defense you can be on Oregon because I mean look, it has a first floor, it has a second floor, and it also has that
10
basement.
seconds left before
So
insertion.
keep in mind those areas when you are attacking on this map,
5
no
seconds
matter
left
what it's
before
at,
insertion.
because you can get flanked from anywhere on this map, and
Attackers'
you
objective
wouldn't
is to
even have
locate a
thought
bomb
about that.
and defuse it.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
and I don't blame the attackers for taking their time. A lot of the times,
Yeah.
especially on this map, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
First thought that comes to mind is the top tower area.
Oh yeah.
When that when this map first came out, that was the most like iconic place for a roamer to sit. As we see the attackers saying, you know what, we're gonna take this because we know we don't want to deal with it later if someone's hiding
What
there.
the
And
hell?
that's an unfortunate vault. Uh-oh, that might end up as a fail because you were trying to hit the beam, but you missed it. Unfortunate stuff. Bombarchi already on flashing red HP. That is not good for your Nomad, your flank watcher of all things. To be so low HP with not even 2 minutes left into the round yet. And you have to deal with Jaeger, who's on the roam here in the meeting area. And Mute's pretty close too on the bottom. Is Aspire just gonna try and go for this aggressive flank? Are we gonna see some spiciness out of Oracle on the defense? We'll see Mavericks just trying to get the wall above on that tower side. We see most of the rest of Unknown are on the other side of the map towards Master. It looks like a split take here. They're just trying to gain as much control as possible. They did get the Master Breach. They are trying to get this Habana Breach off, but there is a mute charge in place to prevent that from happening. And they're going to need to use a nade of some sort. Nade goes out, and
Wow.
Thumbs gets himself. Unfortunate stuff from Unknown on the attacking side of things so far. First to fall and now a self-nade. That's unfortunate.
Ooh, there goes a nade. There goes a good nade though to from the main stairs into attic to delete some utility. But there goes a kill for Oracle Esports as Aspire takes down Bombarchi. And there goes that was the player that was down to HP at the beginning of the round because he fell off from the top Raptors big tower. It took me so long to say that, but I mean, here comes the execute has to happen at some point. It is a 5v3 to Oracle Esports, but Team Unknown shouldn't let that thwart them uh, too much because I mean 3v5s are very clutchable, especially if you put them in correct positions. Not that H is dead because he gets shot behind us. And it's now a 5v2. So maybe this round isn't as clutchable as I thought it was. Here goes a smoke grenade to smoke off master bedroom closet just to push the Habana out of there. And it does. She successfully pushed herself back without taking a lick of damage from the smoke. But it is wasting her. They have 50 seconds left to go. The fuser is still in Habana's hands, but Fallen is pushed himself into sight. He does have that LMG, but it's match Blakey. And now it's demolished all by himself. And he's dead to that round was just a series of unfortunate events.
Yes. Yes,
I mean,
it was.
starting with Rambarchi falling off of top Raptors of Big Tower, missing the beam, and then I mean Thumbs nading himself. And I think for Thumbs, it was he was mavericking the attic wall, and he had those nades. And the sometimes the maverick holes can glitch out, and they can be very small, or they can be too small. And you can try throwing a nade through it, and sometimes the nades do get a bit bouncy. And sometimes when you do try to throw a nade through such a small hole, as little as a maverick hole, the grenade can bounce back towards you. And if you cook it long enough, it's too late for you to escape your own nade, and you do nade yourself. Again, just a series of unfortunate events from
Attackers need
Team
to
Unknown.
locate and defuse bombs.
That's just funny to watch.
Yeah.
Basement.
Laugh at their pain. No, they'll remember this moment. But you know, 4-3. Oracle did definitely take advantage of the mishaps of Unknown, their first attacking round. You know, bit of jitters. Side swaps are nerve-wracking sometimes, especially on a defender-sided map like Oregon. You need to check all your boxes and make sure that you have
10
everything
seconds
in
remaining.
order to win out sites on this map. And like we saw,
5
if you
seconds left
fall
before insertion.
and take damage and have to be
Attackers are moving out
res,
to locate a bomb and
and
defuse
if
it.
you cook a nade too long, that's a cause for concern for that round, and that's why we're at the scoreline we're at. Bottom defense though, and you know, I'm not seeing anything too crazy in terms of operator picks here, but we are seeing just a basic take from Unknown, I think, and I mean, I think we saw it from Oracle too as well, just pushing this small tower side.
Yeah, today we haven't seen any like not weird operator picks, but off meta operator picks like Osa for like coastline. The only time we ever saw an operator that's usually not picked in a attacking lineup, especially in this meta, was the Aruni. Not the Aruni, sorry, the Amaru. They have such a, but the Amaru on coastline, I believe it was from Team Unknown. They picked it. It was RH to pick it. I remember clearly. And that was the only time we saw any like, well, not really, but off meta attacking attacker picks. And I
Right.
mean that goes back to what I said at the beginning, was that I don't expect to see anything different from either one of these teams. They're picking very on meta picks.
Yeah.
They're doing the average things. They're not really doing anything different. Especially it wasn't nothing different, nothing too extraordinary from Clubhouse or Coastline. As you see, Nigga just got stuck in his
Yeah.
own teammate. He was trying to frantically escape, but
Oh.
I mean, there goes Blakey to get the first pick on the ball. I mean, that's your Finka gun. That's a very crucial operator to lose because, I mean, again, with Finka, she has those names, she has the gun 6, and with those two util changes that she did get, with the gun 6 being added and also getting her frag grenades back, she's found her way into the meta, and she also got her changes to her stim packs where she can pick up fallen teammates when they're down instead of having to pick them up herself. But I mean, it's Unknown. They're in a 5v4 man disadvantage with a minute left to go, and they haven't really done enough. Well, from what I've seen, to break down this fight and to make a valid execute in order to win this round.
Yeah, and what we just saw right there, 3 flashbangs for 1 nade that misses, doesn't help. With 40 seconds left, the bomb is stuck in freezer. You do not have time to rotate around, but Thumbs does get a pick to make it 4v4. But again, 30 seconds left. He's gonna choose to rotate as well. Oh my, what a angle from RH. RH might have made a call to rotate over towards laundry side, but I'm not too sure that the laundry side is as open as RH might seem. Chaotic is in this place. Divine gets a kill off screen. Demolish gets a kill and a refrag. Refrags and a bloodbath going on, and the Oracle just take the round easily, just holding those angles, those necessary angles to just clinch down this bomb site and make it their own. And we're tied up 4-4. I'm not seeing good things out of Unknown in terms of the attack here. And I did want to touch on looking back at these team stats in the Titan series. They both did play Oregon before, and Unknown only won 3 rounds that time. So they've exceeded the limit, their expectation, I guess. So far, they have one more round than they did prior. But you know, looking at Oracle, they won 8-7. So I think there's more expectation for me to see Oracle take the momentum here, just on paper. And what we've seen so far
Attackers
in
need to
terms of
locate and
like
defuse as many bombs as they can.
Unknown's attacks, I just haven't seen much to where they've taken control and had a really good execute on the round. And we saw it last round on the bottom defense. Honestly, it's just like they didn't know where to go. They didn't know how to, like, where to plant. and that's what really lost the round that time.
Sorry, I said what, but I wasn't talking about you. I was looking. Look at that bathroom.
10 seconds left.
Look at that bathroom reinforcement between dining
5
and
seconds left before
Yeah.
bathroom.
insertion.
I
Is that a
don't
message?
know. I don't
Attackers
know
are
They're
what
sending
moving
us
that
to
is.
defuse the
messages
bomb.
now. First a heart and now rainbow. I don't know
Oh
what that
man.
is either. It's just like
No,
a
I just usually no. I mean, I wasn't really confused about that. You pointed it out. I mean, not that, but like the fact that they reinforced that. And usually, you have a rotation between
yeah, right there. I know.
bathroom
It's
and
interesting.
dining. It's interesting that they shoot it out, and then right as he shot it out, players was reinforcing it. And I
Yeah,
wonder
they're like,
where that call came from. Anyways, here comes the attacking lineup from Team Unknown. They are going to make a push towards the top floor. That much is known. But from where exactly? You have the Thatcher, the Thermite on that game's window that you spin, but you have the Thermite demolished on that game's window. He just punched it out a little bit and then he repelled all the way to the roof. And now he's pushing Master Bedroom with the Finka. Finka's gonna drone it out for him just so to make sure that that game's area is clear. Whereas you see Bombarchi and this Buck push into Attic. You see Thumbs on this Buck using his hard breach gadgets, but it's
oh,
muted out. And wow, Blakey takes out Bombarchi from a nice headshot all the way out Storms. And that's Nomad gone. That is a crucial operator to lose because, well, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of flanks coming from Oracle Esports,
right.
but again, you want to limit the possibility of those flanks, and if your Nomad is gone, it kind of makes those flanks so much easier for the defender to execute. But this execute, I mean, RH and Fallen get to kill each, making this a 4v3 man advantage for them, and Oracle Esports are left staggered with only 3 men standing.
Yeah, I think the call was in terms of that reinforcement, they're like, hey, we're gonna play top a big bunk, small bunk area. So let's make a rotate towards the white stairs to make it easier to like fall back into a small tower possibly. Um and we saw it, they were just trying to hold that top floor. Unknown really took advantage and said, we'll take the fight to you, and they do have them man advantage. Keep in mind that the site is below them. We're seeing Fallen with a crazy angle, just shooting through the soft floor. Or no, wait. Oh, I thought that was a Fallen kill, but it was a Spire off screen through the vertical angles. Okay, I was like, wait, we need to rethink this one, Fallen. That was a crazy kill. But it wasn't the case. I was misled.
Yeah, so I was gonna, if he got Nick kill, I would have to
Yeah.
ask him to toss it. Just check his
Yeah.
CC, man. Check his toss or
Yeah,
something.
it
Oh my
definitely.
god, the Fusel does go down. It's a big kill from Chaotic. Another one followed up by Aspire, making
10 seconds left.
Mitch is gonna be in this, well, near classroom, and he's dead because Chaotic is right there. Chaotic is everywhere, anywhere. Anywhere in any position that's important to Oracle Esports, he's just there. I don't know how he gets around the map. He just teleports. Well, mine's
Yeah.
just floating around the map,
Oh,
like Reyna whenever she uses her dismiss abilities on Valorant. If any of you play Valorant, please get that, please.
what's Valorant? I've never heard of that
Uh,
before.
so many people from CS meme on Valorant because they see it as like a little childish game, like a little cartoonish game. I mean, it kind of is. It's like
It
the
is.
cartoonish version of CS:GO.
It,
CS:GO is like a grown man's game, and then you have Valorant that's for the kids.
yeah, if you meld Fortnite and CS:GO together,
Defenders,
you
protect
have
your
the
bombs from being defused by attackers.
Don't
Come
compare.
on, you
Don't,
can't say
man.
you
Nah.
can't say
I
that
can't
Valorant has
believe
really
you.
good
I
skins.
can't believe you compared Valorant to
Dude,
Fortnite.
the cartoons, the skins.
Nah, man.
Yeah, I'm
It's a little
sorry.
bit. It's overboard.
I mean,
Friendship is over.
okay. I mean, what else would you compare it to? I'm not sure. Roast me
I
if you
don't.
want. At me on Twitter. If you're fuming about what I just said. Let's discuss. But regardless,
10
we're
seconds to
playing
go.
Siege. We're gonna get into this round, and we're gonna see if Oracle can take it to match point here on the top floor defense.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and
It very
defuse.
lightly. I think they probably will. I hope I don't jinx them, but I think it's very, very likely. Unknown just haven't. I would say that round was a lot better from them. Fallen getting a kill and as well. They were a man down very early on, and again they lost a crucial operator in Nomad. But it's not convincing. It wasn't convincing enough towards the end of that. They just kind of pummeled up into sight with no real plan. Barchi does get the first pick. That's a very crucial pick, and that's one of the key roamers that we were seeing from Oracle Esports. Aspire on that Jaeger. Aspire has been so good on Jaeger. Whether that be playing on site, whether that be off site with King, getting easy picks for himself. I mean, he was 9-5 before 6, but those 9 kills have come mainly from the fact that he's been so good on this Jaeger, just again hitting very crucial shots onto Unknown. But it is Oracle with the early man disadvantage, not in their favor. And again, it's their roam game crippled because of it.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the aggression for this round, at least for Oracle, is going to be a little bit more of just hold your angles, possibly. I don't know. Blakey is in a position 12 and 6, and after Habana getting those pellets off, had a nice angle to try and swing, but decides not to. Chaotic gets a kill towards this attic side. That was quite the kill. I'm not sure if they were in the tower area still, or how pushed up Thumbs was into this attic area. But great kill. Makes it a 4v4. A minute left though, but there's that flanker. There's a flanker. Is there an air jab set up? That's the question, Divine. Just waiting
like
for an opportunity. Ducky off screen gets a kill though. Does it look like there's an air jab there?
He's used 2 of them. She comes with 3.
No.
But even then, she doesn't even get flanked. She gets killed by the player playing right next to her in attic and falling in the bedroom area. He has so many kills to find, and he doesn't even have any gun.
Yeah.
And even if he runs out of bullets, he has the gun. So if he pulls out the gun 6, and if he gets a kill with the gun 6, I'm going to scream. But I don't think that's even possible because the gun 6 bullets don't do jack crap against any of these defenders. And we might get a technical timeout after this because these rounds have been so. Wow, he actually shot him with the gun 6. Are you kidding me? He doesn't get a kill for but it's still. He has 20 seconds before this round ends, and it's a match point for Oracle Esports. He's so low on HP, but he doesn't even have any stim boosts in his favor. It is all up to Fallen to make sure that the match point doesn't happen, and it does. I mean, I don't think the Gon 6 was prepared for it. I think he was just trying to kill, and the Malusi scared the crap out of him, and he just panicked.
Yeah, that was expected. Maybe the Gon 6 would kill someone if they were actually down but not out. And we're, like you said, we're gonna take a tactical timeout. I'm not sure who called it.
I think Unknown? It was Unknown.
Yeah. I figured. So good decision. I feel like you're at match point. You're on your decider map of Oregon, and you need to win 2 more times to go into OT. But honestly, Team Unknown's attacks on this map are very lackluster. Like, very lackluster. Just in terms of what I've seen, we've touched on it before, I just haven't seen much to say that I'm confident that Unknown are gonna take this round to go to basically not end the match. So, good timeout to see if they can figure things out currently and see what's going on and see if they can make 2 rounds happen. But on a laundry supply defense, that's gonna be a tall order.
Yeah, like you said, their attacks have just not been convincing. It's a lazy way of explaining it, but I would explain it as me being not your explanation. Your explanation wasn't lazy, but what I'm about to say is the lazy explanation of it. And it's that their attacks just simply have not been good enough. And mainly for the fact that Oracle Esports, every time, even if first pick, even if it's like an even man count, like a minute left to go, Team Unknown just don't really. It doesn't seem like they have a set in stone game plan. It doesn't look convincing enough, right? It It doesn't look like they have a plan for any of these stacks, for any of these sites, and they played Oregon today.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember. I said Oregon was a 7. I mean, no, I said Coastline was a 7-1, and Oregon was actually a 7-3 win for again LFO, formerly known as Team Wanted. So I
10
mean,
seconds to
again,
insertion.
like you said before, they've outperformed their expectations. They got
Yeah.
one more
5
round
seconds
than they
left.
did last week.
Hmm.
But against Team Oracle, I feel like again, I feel
Attackers
like
are moving out to locate a
that's
bomb and
not really
defuse
a
it.
positive to look at
Yeah.
because their attacks have just looked so poor. Their defenses look very strong. Don't get me wrong. They look
Yeah.
extremely good on their defenses. Their attacks are very disappointing. And I mean, we know Oregon as a defender-sided map, so I can't really be too harsh on them, and I don't want to be because I think Team Unknown are a talented team, and I have to preface that after saying what I said because I don't want to seem like I'm being like too offensive. I know how people can get sometimes, and I don't want to seem like I'm like trashing them. No, they're good. They're a good team. They're good players. Trust me. I
The
really
worst part
believe.
is they're gonna clip everything but you saying they're a good team.
Oh my God, please God.
The
I
attacker's bomb
mean,
diffuser has been
I
dropped.
wouldn't.
Attackers have
It
recovered their
hasn't happened
diffuser.
before. I don't think they're. I don't think they're
What?
that. I don't think they're that childish.
Then you're good.
I don't think so.
All right.
I hope not. Let's hope. Let's
So
pray.
please don't take what I said and actually do it. I feel bad.
Disclaimer.
Yes.
But yeah, like I don't know. They just don't seem like they have a plan. They don't seem even though this map has been in the pool for like seasons now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how to play Oregon. Everybody knows how to play attack on Oregon. It just doesn't seem like they've been in the seasons that Oregon was in here because they look so confused. They look very lost in their attacks. And it could be because Oracle are countering them. They're playing like good counter strats to what Team Unknown are doing. I mean, the mirror is here and
Yeah.
it's providing crucial intel onto elbow. So if they do come through elbow, which they
Oh.
probably will do, they have gotten the first kill in this target's position. They're
Attackers
going to
have
come through
located a bomb.
elbow. The mute is going to see that, and he has the to play this very close position if they do decide to push him. But two
Oh.
kills actually go Blackie's way. I mean Blakey's way. Oh my God, Blakey's way, and it's a 4v3 man advantage for the side of Oracle
Drop the
Esports.
bomb diffuser.
Easy.
Oh, and another one. Oh my God. Blakey just said, I don't want to play another round. I want this to end now. But RH is saying, no, it's a 2v2. But unfortunate, Ducky says it's a 1v2 with 50 seconds left. Thumbs, it's all up to you. Are you going to clutch this out with 45 seconds
Located.
and no
Oh,
bomb? Gets one pick, 1v1, 40 seconds left, and the diffuser is outside. He has to pick up the diffuser and push the site and try and plant
Attackers recovered the
all
diffuser.
with limited time, chaotic, in a nice angle to try and prevent this to happen. Here's the Ringgit go off. Did he? I don't know. He hears the Prox alarm. Least thumb takes it away. There's a bulletproof cam, so he knows the location.
15
Does he
seconds
know who's
remaining.
planting?
oh,
He
here's
probably
the
does.
plant.
He's getting confused. He's just
10
waiting.
seconds left. Attackers
Oh my
activated.
God! Plant down.
Why
Oh, he
is he
just
running?
wait. What a.
Attackers need to protect
Oh
the
my
diffuser.
God! He
Position
ran away.
compromised.
What was that, Thumbs? You had to plant down. Chaotic fumbled the bag. If you
Defenders
plant
disabled
and
the
stay
diffuser.
and hold that angle, you
Defender
catch
mission
Chaotic off
successful.
guard and you win that round 5-6. Unfortunately, you run away and you lose the lower bracket on the Titan series. Unfortunate for Team Unknown. GG's to both teams. Oracle pulls it out in the end. Great stuff from them. 7-4. Honestly, all around a great three map series, in my opinion. Um, the first best of three that I've casted in a while, where I've casted all three maps, and every map was pretty entertaining. Uh, I gotta say, it was a back and forth between both teams on every map, and what it seemed like most sites for appointed time, at least for all three. I mean, there were times, yes, where like one team did show more than the other, and that's really what ultimately led to the uh, I'm sorry, Oracle winning. I lost my train of thought, and so I don't know. Like, do you feel as if you like this is what we expected?
Um, that's the thing. I came into this without any expectations
Yeah,
for any. for neither one of these teams. So I wasn't really sure what we would get. We did get a good match though. I do agree with you on that. Um, I just I feel really bad for Thumbs there because at first I didn't understand why he did it, but I mean, actually, you know what? No, I still don't understand why he did it. I was gonna try to find a good excuse for it, but then
Oh,
I don't get it. And he could have been panicking. He could have been very nervous. He was in a 1v2. He could have almost clutched that out. It's the 417 versus the MP5K. Any day of the week, you would take the 417
yeah,
over that. And it's unfortunate that they weren't able to win it out out that 1v2. It could have been such a good game changer. We could have seen such a good attacking half from them after that. But their attacking half, I mean, to say the least, it was a bit disappointing. Although this was a very entertaining three map series, their attack once they switched to the attack, team on appeared. We didn't see them after their defensive round, and it was kind of sad to watch.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't. I mean, honestly, I feel like we touched on all three maps every time we took a break, and you touched on, the conclusion of this map really well just right now. And we don't have an interview for you guys today, unfortunately, but we do have more matches coming up soon, very, very soon. Look to next week for more Titan Series matches. Honestly, I appreciate every one of you coming, tuning in, watching the stream. Thank you for supporting Talent League. Thank you to production and our beautiful observer behind the scenes, making sure you're seeing the crisp, clean gameplay you're watching right now. 1B, thank you for coming on with me and casting. It was a blast. Make sure to follow our Twitter, look us up on YouTube. Join our Discord if you want to be a part of our casting crew, our production crew, or help out Talent League at any way possible. Please, please let us know. Just make sure and look for our Discord and join the server, and we'll get you set up from there. Any last words from you, Wumby?
Uh, no, not really. I do look forward to our remaining fixtures in the Talent League series, and I hope you guys will too. It was a blast casting with you, so and uh, I do appreciate our time together. This was very fun.
It's awesome. Yeah. We appreciate you all once again, and we will catch you all next week.